Here's what we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
The death of DJ Steven Twitch Boss shocks fans as he's remembered for his time on Ellen. What we know so far about what happened. Jay Leno talks for the first time about his terrifying accident.
The pilot light jumped and my face caught on fire.
Plus, the avatar selfie trend has some people wanting to get these looks in real life. Dr. Yoon is here live to give us his take on using filters as inspiration for plastic surgery. And our interview with the fabulous Vivica A. Fox.
Why are you starting off here to get Chuck?
Oh my gosh.
Get real.
No.
Y'all,
just stop.
This is a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll. Welcome to DBL. We begin today with some very sad news. Steven Twitch Boss, who was Ellen's DJ on her talk show, has passed away. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner said he died in a hotel yesterday. And the Today Show and other news outlets are reporting that it was by suicide. He was just 40 years old. Twitch was best known, of course, as Ellen's DJ and for his love, his happiness, his dancing. He joined the show in 2014. He was promoted to co-executive producer in 2020 and stood by Ellen after her show was accused of being a toxic workplace. He and his wife Allison gained millions of followers on TikTok, showing off their dance moves and would sometimes get their 3 kids involved. Now, in a statement, his wife said, quote, "Steven lit up every room he stepped into. He valued family, friends, and community above all else, and leading with love and light was everything to him. He was the backbone of our family, the best husband and father, and inspiration to his fans." And in fact, Ellen just recently tweeted her thoughts. She wrote, "I'm heartbroken. Twitch was pure love and light. He was my family, and I loved him with all my heart. I will miss him. Please send your love and support to Allison and his beautiful children, Wesley, Maddox, and Zaya." Wow, right before the holidays. You know, Tori, you talk very openly, we all do, about our struggles with mental illness, and you just never know. It does not discriminate. You never know if someone's suffering, no matter how happy they seem to be.
I saw, excuse me, it's check on your happy friends. That's what I saw on Instagram, social media today. Check on the ones that you think are doing okay. From all accounts, Twitch had the perfect life. He was happy. His wife, I've been following him since So You Think You Can Dance. So is Allison, his wife, a contestant. Yeah. They are, when you dance, you exude joy, and that's all he did, was just exude joy. So when this happened, I think all of us are really in shock right now because it seems like the opposite of someone who's depressed. So please remember this phrase, check on your happy friends, because it hits indiscriminately and people can put on a face, because I did it for a long time. I'm so saddened by this for their family, for the holidays. Every holiday they're going to remember this moment. So I'm just really shocked, really
I was
shocked.
gonna say, Jeff, you said that this hit you harder than you thought it would.
Yeah.
Like, what did you mean by that? You said that right before the show started.
Well, yeah, because I was talking to my wife this morning, and they celebrated their 9-year anniversary 4 days ago. And on Instagram, it's all good, right? And that's why I always talk about Instagram and all that, but I want to talk about Twitch because I know I'm not a dancer, I'm not maybe nothing like Twitch, but I see a little piece of me in him. When Anthony Bourdain died, it really affected me. And this is the same way, he's a family man. And I can't imagine myself doing something like that. But over the years that, you know, we talk about this very openly about our struggles and other people's struggles. And I was like, why would you do that to your family? There's a mental disorder within yourself that makes you do something like that. And I realize that now. We're going to put numbers on the screen after, but there is help out there. He didn't leave his kids. He needed to do something that his mind told him. I went through that when my wife had postpartum, and I didn't understand it, and it helped me realize it. So for some reason, I felt like a little piece of me was with Twitch today. Like I could do something like that. And it really bothered me seeing, you know, those. It just bothered me.
Can we have some Kleenex up here?
Yeah.
You know, Sam.
Erica, I want to give Erica a moment. You're crying.
No, it's very weird because I was thinking about my girlfriend who unfortunately took her life 2 years ago around this time, almost 2 years to the date. And I appreciate what you're saying about just the idea of you've changed your mind or you've understood more based on your own experiences, because there was certainly a time that I felt like suicide is like the most selfish thing you can do. And I repeated that even when my friend passed away because I was so angry. Like, I was so angry in the beginning, before I even got to sadness. I just think it's really important, especially during this time of the year, that we are really aware that this is a very tough time for a lot of people. And so I also think that it's our responsibility to send our condolences out to so many of you, because we understand that before you had us at this particular time on your particular network, you had him and you saw him every day. And we want to acknowledge that you are grieving at home, because when you allow any of us to come into your homes every day at the same time, it is such a privilege that we are spending time with you, and we know how you feel about us. So I am sorry for your loss today as well.
That was beautifully stated, Erica. We do have some numbers, as Jeff pointed out, on our screen for any of you that may want to reach out for help. Please take a screen grab of it, take a look. You are not alone. Every single one of us up here have been in pretty dark, deep holes, and you can crawl out of it. Help does work. Treatment works. Our thoughts and prayers with Twitch's family. All right, we're going to move on to another topic that a lot of you are talking about. Megan Thee Stallion took the stand yesterday in Los Angeles, and here she is on her way into court. She was testifying in a case against fellow rapper Tory Lanez for allegedly shooting her in the feet in 2020 after a party in the Hollywood Hills. She told the jury that Lanez shot her after yelling at her to, quote unquote, dance bleep. Megan said she's still dealing with nerve pain along with the fallout from the incident. She said Lanez offered her $1 million not to tell the police what happened. And at one point, Megan was in tears, saying she wished he had killed her had she known about all the backlash she would get from the music industry and from folks on social media. Lanez has pleaded not guilty to the felony charges against him. He faces more than 22 years in prison. And just to give our audience more context, and Erica, you spoke about this months ago when we brought up the entire situation, is so many people started to victim blame her, said that she was doing it for attention or she was making it up. Why, Erica, in your opinion?
Because the most disrespected person on this planet is the black woman, and it's a shame when people who look like you make that your reality. I mean, this was a great opportunity, especially at the moment that it happened, when we were yelling from the rooftops to protect black women, to actually put action behind that. But instead, people who look like her and people who don't have decided to re-victimize her, when we know no one is disputing that she was shot. We have decided to make a mockery out of her personal life and put on trial the intimacy of what possibly happened or did not happen in her bedroom. Where else do we do this at for someone who has been shot multiple times? At the precipice of the height of her career. She did not need this type of attention. And for anyone to insinuate that she is doing this for attention, or she's doing it for nefarious purposes, that she's doing it for any reason other than justice, really needs a reality check. And you also need to look your daughters in the eyes, look your nieces in the eyes, your mama, your auntie, your grandmother, and acknowledge to them that the things that you are saying about this woman who was a victim of a violent act are going to be applied in their minds too. So just know that when you're saying this, Megan's probably not going to hear you, but your daughter will.
Yeah. I'm just seeing her walk into court. I'm so happy, because when we covered this case, I was like, I don't think we've ever talked about an A-list celebrity that was shot multiple times, and it was so opaque in terms of what was happening around her. And I'm really happy that she's going to get her day in court, because the first thing that really hit me, and Erica, you really touched on it, was people were saying she did this for attention. I'm like, here's how I know you're famous. My mom knows who you are. Yeah. My mom knows who Megan Thee Stallion is. You don't need any more publicity after that. She has crossed over gender, socioeconomic, age. Everybody knows who she is. So the fact that she would do this for like she's some TikToker trying to get a publicity stunt is ridiculous. So I'm glad we're going to hear this in court under oath, and we can just get this out and get this done with, and justice can be served however it is.
I certainly hope it does. We'll be right back.
it's happy holiday season time.
From our DBL family to yours, we want to wish you
A happy holiday season.
A happy holiday season. We're live. So I was just, we were just speaking about what Erica had said regarding the audience, who is now our audience, because we moved time slots. We now have Ellen's time slot in most of the cities, or a number of the cities here. And it's something I never connected. I mean, I thought of Twitch, of how I knew Twitch. I had met him through a friend of mine, Tammy, who dances, and I barely met him, but I just looked within. For Erica to think about our audience, who probably has spent so many hours cumulatively watching him and feeling like they knew him.
I didn't even think about it. I know.
And console him, I thought was really powerful.
I didn't even think about
Me neither.
This might be like a weird side tangent, but I thought about this because my friend said this a long time ago about being a gun owner. And he said the one thing about being a gun owner is obviously being responsible and how you use it and how you care for it and who has access to it. But also, there's going to be a time in everybody's life where like you're going to have a thought to use it on yourself. And this is one of the things that people don't discuss with guns is my friend comedian Jack Knight, who passed away. He took his own life with a gun 4 months ago. And it's it's just, I think if you don't have access, maybe it gives you that one day to sleep on it. Maybe it gives that one friend time to get there to you. But the gun is so instant.
It's there.
That it's just there.
And
it's
if you
just
act on
instant,
that impulse.
like a trap door almost,
Yep, that is so well said.
And
unfortunately.
it's terrible because we think about guns towards other people or guns when your kids find them, but you don't think about just like you.
Suicide.
Like, just like everybody has a bad day, a bad month, a bad 5 years, and they're like, this is it, and
You're giving me chills.
yeah, it's
We're talking about a camera.
Very decorated in the studio. We like that little shot of the wreath. Okay, so welcome back. We're going to talk about something that we have not talked about in a while. Yes, masks. I know it's a hot button issue. While health officials across the country are urging Americans to put their masks back on between COVID, the flu, and other respiratory diseases that are spiking right now, they say masking up is the best way to keep you and your family healthy. Here's what Dr. Fauci said about it yesterday.
We're getting cold weather. We're getting an uptick in cases, and we have the holiday season where people are congregating indoors. I hope is a call to people to realize how important it is to do that, to get vaccinated, to be careful, wear a mask where appropriate in indoor settings.
So DBL Nation, we need to hear from you. Will you be masking up this holiday season? Go to dblvote.com to weigh in. Tori, I just want to read you this statistic in regard to Americans and masking. So during the first 2 years of COVID, between 50% and 80% of Americans wore the mask, seeing the data and knowing how it protected against COVID and other respiratory diseases. As of September, only around 29% have been wearing masks outside of their homes. Two-part question. Why do you think that is? And do you think people are going to listen to Fauci now that he's been so politicized?
No, I think there is a lot of heat around Fauci. They should. He's saved millions of lives by this, but I think there is a lot of political talk here. I have to say this. In other countries, masks are very normal. They're normalized. And Americans, when we get bored of something, we move on really, really quickly. We've moved on from masks, apparently. It's not over, but we've moved on. We need to somehow normalize it, like in other Asian cultures, in places in which people in the studio are still wearing masks. That needs to be something you have in your car. That needs to be something you wear in the airport. This is part of our helping a society as one. That's what you have to do. You got to put in a little work, wear a cloth, and protect it. Because at this point, Americans who move on, we're done, and it's going to come right back. So I say
I was going to say, I love what you said about normalizing. And Jeff, you talk about being in Japan and different parts of Asia. And like, that's what I noticed when I was over there is everybody has a mask on
Very
in the
normal.
airport. Like everybody does. And I went to do my USO tours in 2018 and 2016. So it was very normalized. And I felt like I stood out over there not having one on. So I was in North Carolina doing shows this weekend. Shout out to Charlotte. Great time there. And honestly, I would say in the showroom, there were probably 25% of the people wearing masks and 25% of the staff wearing masks, which never happened pre-COVID. So maybe this is kind of where we are now.
Yeah, I just got back from Chicago, and about 25% of people on a plane were wearing a mask. I would say, listen, if people don't want to wear it, they're not going to wear it.
Right.
I mean, at this point, we're already over it. But if I was not feeling great or something, I'm going to be honest, I don't think I'd wear it at Christmas with my family. But if I was not feeling great while I was traveling, I'd wear a mask to protect others.
There you go.
Because I don't want to be selfish.
There you go.
So, I mean, people are going to do what they want to do, and that's probably the end of it.
And talk to your doctor. If you don't trust Fauci, please talk to your doctor.
Or me.
46% say yes, you will be wearing a mask. 53% of you say no. All right, coming up on DBL, we talk with Vivica A. Fox all about her new project, A New Divas Christmas Carol. Stay tuned.
On December 13th, President Joe Biden signed the Respect for Marriage Act into law. It requires federal and state governments to recognize all marriages that were legally performed in any state. Some people, including those affiliated with churches, claimed because the law applied to government agencies that it would give the Internal Revenue Service the power to revoke the tax-exempt status of churches that refused to perform same-sex marriages. And a Verify viewer on TikTok asked us what the law actually does. So, let's verify. Does the Respect for Marriage Act give the IRS the ability to revoke the tax-exempt status for churches that oppose same-sex marriage? Our sources are the Respect for Marriage Act, a joint statement issued by some of the senators who passed it, the IRS, and Dale Carpenter, a constitutional law expert with Southern Methodist University. The RFMA explicitly says the law can't be used to deny or alter the tax-exempt status or tax treatment of an eligible person or entity. That language was added by a bipartisan group of senators who wanted to ensure that a church's tax-exempt status is unrelated to marriage. The law also specifies it only applies to those acting under the color of state law, which Carpenter says is a legal expression referring to the government or government officials, not private organizations like churches. So, no, the Respect for Marriage Act does not give the IRS the ability to revoke the tax-exempt status for churches that oppose same-sex marriage. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Darling, if we wanted to kill you, we would have done that already.
What she means is, hi, we're just three regular old spirits who've been assigned to you to make your life better. Aren't you lucky?
Welcome back to DBL. That was A Divas Christmas Carol, and Vivica A. Fox is slaying in her latest film. Earlier we caught up with her. Take a look.
Okay, so the stars in A New Divas Christmas Carol include Ashanti, Robin Givens, Eva Marcel, and Spice Girl Mel B. So who is the biggest diva in the movie?
Why are you starting off the interview giving me trouble?
I'm giving you some Christmas drama. I want my lump of coal.
Okay. If I had to pick, I'd say Ashanti. Just because she was doing this film. No, listen, she was doing our film, and then she was also touring. She had interviews. She had a lot going on, but she really delivered for us and played the role of Aphrodite wonderful. And she contributed to the soundtrack. So the fact that you're going to get to hear her sing, she has the voice of an angel. I honestly did not know she was that good of a singer.
Wow.
Okay, so that's the biggest diva in real life. Now, what about the biggest diva as character-wise in the movie?
Ashanti.
It's still Ashanti.
She was giving everybody the blues, and we had to pull her choke chain and said, now come on back and enjoy love and Christmas.
I just want to ask you, was there a moment on set, because, you know, there's a certain chemistry on set, but was there a moment where you really felt the spirit of Christmas, like on set, like you were like, oh, these are my people?
To be honest with you, every day.
Yeah.
Because we had a lot of work to do. We just finished this film in August. So we all had to come in, be focused. We ran lines with each other. We made suggestions to the director. It was really a collaborative effort. The special effects were added later, but for the director to help us understand where we were, because we went through her past, present, and then took her to her future. So we would be like, okay, now where are we at today, and where are we about to escape to? Because my character took us through the time travel thing with this when that happened. So I would say every day we really work together as a wonderful team to create movie magic, and more importantly, Christmas magic.
I love that. A good ensemble.
Yeah.
All right, so in real life, who will you be spending the holidays with this year? I sound like a creeper.
You really
Where
do.
will you
Where
be?
can I find you?
Yes.
Because
yes.
when you hear about my Christmas ritual, you're going to be like, okay, V, I might want to join you. I start off the day having breakfast with my godson, Christian, and his family. Then I go to the Beverly Hot Springs, soak in the waters, have a good massage. Then I go to my business partner, Lita Richardson, and we binge watch all the NBA games and have lunch. And then I finish out the night with a Uno tournament and fish fry with my boy, Darren Bond.
Oh my gosh, that's the coolest night ever.
It's a full day, I told you.
An Uno tournament?
I just
She topped it with a
any
cherry.
one of those things would have been my favorite. You had me at NBA binge watch, and I was like, you could have stopped talking, but then you went to Uno tournament. That's my thing.
I'm like, I go to my grandma's house.
Yes. There's nothing like somebody with a draw four on Christmas. Like,
Draw
yeah, go ahead and get in there.
Good call.
Yeah.
Exactly. Bam. And I pop it on you.
You're done.
That's what's up. Now, obviously you have a full Christmas day. I'm going to speak for the men, and I'm going to speak for myself. I dropped the ball on a few Christmases. So a few Christmas gifts I should have consulted with some friends. What is the worst Christmas gift that you've ever gotten from a man?
Nothing.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah,
There's no
nothing.
skipping Christmas.
Like, really? You just think your presence is the gift? Really?
Yeah, it's weird because I'm sure you had one for him.
I am a great gift giver. I really am. I love birthdays and I love Christmas. So, it was kind of chintzy. He got kicked to the curb.
Yeah. Well, so let's go back to Divas. So you ran into housewife Kenya Moore since your epic showdown on Celebrity Apprentice, but it went well, right? So tell us that story.
Well, that was really, I'm not a mean girl whatsoever, but she really tried me on Celebrity Apprentice, taking my phone. She hasn't officially confessed to that.
Yeah.
But honestly, it was her little girl. We were in Crustacean's restaurant in Beverly Hills, and her little girl just walked over to me, and I was like, hi, baby. And Kenya walked over and was like, hey, girl. And I was like, come on, let's go on and drop this. I mean, we're both adults. And daughter's beautiful. It's good to see you in a new chapter as a mom. And we squashed it.
Wow. What an adult thing to do. The power of a little child, too, right?
Right. And I think kids soften you a little bit. I just had a baby a year ago. And so it helps me like, okay, am I really mad or, am I not?
Absolutely.
Congratulations on your new baby.
Thank you so much, Vivica. I appreciate that.
Kinsley's the best. Thank you so much for joining us, Vivica. DBL Nation, a new Divas Christmas Carol premieres tonight on VH1. Again, so lovely to chat with you.
Come back soon.
That's true. We'll be right back.
Happy blessed holidays, darlings. And here's your fabulous 2023.
That's right. And you, and to you.
Billions of emails are sent every day. And as we all probably see in our inboxes, many of them are marketing promotions. Verify viewer Linda says her inbox is full of them. She texted our team to ask if a business can sell her email address after she unsubscribed from its mailing list. So Linda, let's verify. Our sources are the Canned Spam Act, the Federal Trade Commission, and Andrew Sternke, Chief Executive Officer and Private Investigator at Juris Disputes and Investigations. A 2003 federal law called the Canned Spam Act sets the rules for businesses that send commercial marketing emails. It requires companies to do two things: identify these emails as advertising and tell you how to opt out of receiving future emails from that company. According to the Canned Spam Act and the FTC, once you submit an opt-out request, businesses must remove you from their mailing list within 10 days, and they can no longer sell or transfer your email address. The FTC says there's one exception. Companies can transfer emails on its mailing list to a company that it's hired to help them comply with the Canned Spam Act. If companies don't follow the rules, they can face hefty fines. So, Linda, we can verify, no. Businesses are not legally allowed to sell your email address after you unsubscribe from their mailing list. According to cybersecurity expert Andrew Sternke, the removal of emails from a mailing list is a self-regulated process that comes with some issues.
There's nothing saying that they didn't already sell your information, your email, prior to you opting out. They just can't do it once you opt out.
With your Verify, I'm Adiante Till. Poinsettias are one of the most popular holiday plants. Their colorful leaves can range from a creamy white to a bright red. For years, people have claimed that the plant is lethal to cats and dogs. Recent online search trends show people are wondering about that claim as they start decorating for the holidays. So let's verify. Are poinsettias deadly to pets? Our sources are the ASPCA, the American Kennel Club, and the Pet Poison Helpline. Snap open a leaf of the plant and its milky white sap will ooze out. The chemicals in the sap are similar to those found in detergents. If cats and dogs consume them, they may experience gastrointestinal irritation, such as nausea, vomiting, drooling, or sometimes diarrhea. Contact with the sap can also cause skin irritation, including redness, swelling, and itchiness. But all three of our sources agree that chemicals found in the plant's sap are only mildly toxic to pets, not fatal. The Pet Poison Helpline website says claims about pet poisoning from the plant's sap are greatly exaggerated. So we can verify, no, poinsettias are not deadly to pets. But consuming the sap and the plant's leaves in general is still not good for them. So to be safe, the American Kennel Club recommends keeping poinsettias out of your pet's reach during the holiday season. The ASPCA says holly and mistletoe, which can cause gastrointestinal irritation as well as cardiovascular problems when ingested, should also be kept out of your pet's reach. With your Verify, I'm Adiante Till.
Welcome back. We got a comment for Al. Melissa says, in regards to Vivica, it looked like Al wanted to get on Vivica's Christmas plans.
Wow. I was just trying to talk to a fellow entertainer about, expanding because she's so good at time management. I want to see how she does it. She does everything.
Did you DM her and thank her?
That's trying to get me in trouble.
Leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online. Watch on YouTube, dailyblastlive.com, or our app. But if you get the second half of the show where you are, here is what's ahead. The AI avatar trend makes its way into plastic surgery offices. Dr. Yoon will be here live to tell us what the craze is all about. And Jay Leno does his first interview since his terrifying accident. What he says happened in the moments leading up to getting badly burned.
Hospitals need blood to perform surgery and treat trauma patients. In January, the American Red Cross declared a crisis due to the worst blood shortage in over a decade. But are outbreaks of the flu and RSV making it worse? Let's verify. Our sources are the American Red Cross and Blood Assurance, a nonprofit that serves healthcare facilities in Georgia and 4 other states. Nationwide, hospitalizations for the flu are at the highest level in over a decade, while emergency room visits due to RSV, or respiratory syncytial virus, are elevated. Blood Assurance reports that some donation drives have been canceled because too many people called out sick. In a statement, the CEO of Blood Assurance said it's quite alarming because it's not even winter yet. Evan Peterson of the American Red Cross adds, anyone feeling sick should not donate blood.
We do a health screening before anyone is able to donate, just to make sure that, hey, the day of when we're about to take this blood, is your blood where we need it to be? And unfortunately, some people do just get disqualified as a result of that.
Both organizations are offering a variety of incentives to healthy people willing to donate in December. Peterson says the Red Cross gets a lot of questions from people wondering if it's okay to donate if you're recently vaccinated.
If you have a COVID vaccine or booster, or you have your flu shot vaccine or booster, that does not disqualify you from donating.
So we can verify the recent viral outbreaks have impacted our nation's blood supply, leading organizations to encourage people to get vaccinated to stay well and donate.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Get real.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
This is a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll. Welcome to DBL. So Jay Leno is speaking out about the garage fire that left him with burns on his face, chest, and hands. He spoke to Hoda Kotb on the Today Show about how it happened. Watch.
It was a 1907 white steam car. So the fuel line was clogged. So I was underneath it trying to clog it. And I said, blow some air through the line. Let's see if we can clear. And then a line, and then boom, and suddenly, boom, I got a face full of gas. And then the pilot light jumped and my face caught on fire. And I said to my friend, I said, Dave, I'm on fire. And Dave was like, okay. I said, no, Dave, I'm on fire.
Wow. Jay also revealed photos of his burns while at the burn center where he was treated for 10 days. Now, Jay joked that he wasn't worried about what he would look like after because he's not, quote unquote, George Clooney. I admire that attitude. I do. Or do you think that's him trying to hide behind hide his hurt with his humor, Jeff?
I think a lot. I mean, he's a comedian, right? So I think he does that naturally, but I think we all do that in some sort of way. But for having gasoline burn on your face, I think he looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Right? And I think he's lucky that he got away with what he got away with. But having that positive attitude about things, accidents happen. He loves what he does. I'm sure he's going to go right back to fixing cars. So good on Jay.
It's just weird that, like, I've known someone who got really badly burned where you have the skin grafts. What you didn't see is just how drastically painful it is. It goes into the muscle fibers of your being. And so it's just, Jay has a very strong character. I mean, that is, you are 10 out of 10 in pain. Burn victims have a very, very, very difficult time. So good on him for keeping up such a high spirit.
But yeah, I feel like he, and I said this when we initially covered the story, he has like one kind of bow in his quiver, and that's that he is a comic.
Yeah.
So he can fight back with this because usually you kind of, most people internalize things and like, how are people going to look at me? But as a comic, you've been on stage your whole life. You're used to people looking at you. And also, if you look at a lot of comedians, Josh Blue, he's got MS, I believe, and he's one of the most famous comics. The friend of mine, of course, his name escapes me. He's on America's Got Talent. He got hit in the throat with a softball when he was a kid. It destroyed his vocal cords, and he made it far on America's Got Talent because he incorporated that into his act. So I'm expecting, as soon as I saw that, every comic was like, oh, you got a new hour. Like, it's so weird.
It's going to be called I'm on fire.
Yes, exactly. So, take the negative and make it positive. So I'm expecting big things from Jake.
All right. Okay, so Drake, you guys, is getting roasted over a piece of jewelry. The rapper commissioned a necklace by jewelry designer Alex Moss that was inspired by his past lovers. The piece, called Previous Engagements, is made up of 42 diamonds that represent the 42 times Drake got close to proposing.
Ugh.
The necklace took 14 months to complete.
Just so dumb.
And is worth an estimated $4 million. But some people online called out Drake for this strange gesture. Some called it embarrassing. Others said it was corny. Tori, you blurted out it's dumb.
That's like 42 times you were going to get married. 42. Can you know we are at 30? You still got 12 more. 42? What are you? Some kind of
Tori, how many people
addict?
Tori, how many people do you think you've met where you were like, I could have potentially married this?
Two.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
And then I realized that definitely one. But like, you don't, I mean, over 5, I feel like is a lot. Did anyone find this like cringy?
I think we're expecting that because after his last album where he was calling out happily married women that he once connected with and have moved on with their lives, we were anticipating that the next album would just be called Therapy Session because I believe that that's the next stop for him.
Yeah, like what's going on with Drake?
I mean, it's just I feel kind of bad for him. Like, he seems hurt. Like, he really does. He seems like really hurt. I mean, like his.
So you buy the diamonds?
Like,
Wasn't
yeah, like it was.
Cover a bunch of like different babies. Remember, he had a bunch of.
I don't know. It was
babies?
something before. I think I've realized that I've gotten older than the demographic that he's going for because I'm like, baby, honey,
something's wrong.
Just get. A little therapy. We'd love to hear about that. Drake, your next album, just therapy session, 1.0, 2.0 until it's done. We could use that in the community. Absolutely.
It's just funny that he puts it on blast. You know, because there's a lot of people that love very hard, right? Or they're a love addict or a sex addict, whatever it may be. But the fact that he's like, I'm going to get a necklace with all 42 possible proposals. Why do you think he put it on blast like that?
That he remembered 42.
Yeah, dude.
1, 2.
Yeah, well, then there was Karen and
Don't forget Karen.
And you were looking at him in the eyes. It might be 43 after you watch this segment, Erica.
All right, so we got to talk about Jennifer Aniston, too, because she hosted an exclusive party full of her A-list friends. But, of course, the party reportedly happened at her home in Bel Air and included stars like Sandra Bullock, Courtney Cox, and Lisa Kudrow, plus Tobey Maguire, Jason Bateman, and Bradley Cooper. Just so we're clear, these pics are not from the party because, according to Page 6, it was a no cell phone event.
Awesome.
Not as a rule, just so nobody posted anything on social media. Erica, you said awesome.
I love that. I love that. I've been doing more no cell phone events because people, especially when you're serving alcohol, then people's boundaries start to slide a little bit more. Then all of a sudden you wake up the next morning and something you never would have posted on a story, like even if it's not even as that big of a deal, like you're just swearing and you never
just
post
not a good look.
Yeah, something that wouldn't be something you would normally do, and now someone has posted you all over their social media. Like I've gotten to the point where I just tell people, like, we have a professional photographer here. Yeah. You don't actually even need to take any photos. If you want certain photos, you can get a great photo with this person as opposed to on your phone with bad lighting. That way you don't have to worry about, somebody posting something that they shouldn't.
Or here's another weird option. You could just enjoy the evening. Yeah. You could just enjoy the evening without trying to capture it in real time. Are you going to go back and be like, wow, remember that time me and Erica were sitting on the couch? I would rather remember the conversation that we had on that couch. I get that people live online and posting your life is a big deal. I get all that, Sam, but I do think that things are missed when people are constantly taking pictures. It throws the rhythm of conversations off. It makes people, hey, stop talking to Jeff real quick. Let's get a picture. You guys start talking again. It just throws the rhythm of the night off.
You're just not in the present moment, ever. You're just never in the. If the goal in life is to live every moment in the present moment, you couldn't be farther from that. And the energy passes on to everybody. You're absolutely right. Oh, picture this. Well, I'm not going to talk to you then. And you just have to work on that because it's very easy to do. Oof.
I think it gets a bad rap, though, and I agree with all of you. But it gets a bad rap because we always hear it with celebrities, right? Because they don't want certain things to get out. I think this is actually quite relatable, again, for what the reasons you all stated, to be present, boundaries, whether you have $1 million or no money in your checking account. I think what all of us can fall victim to, what Erica said, is the fact that you get a couple drinks in you, the next morning you look at your phone and you regret some of those decisions.
How many teachers have we seen fired
There you
for
go.
things that they were doing at a holiday party and things that no one would have ever known about? It's like...
Would you do this?
No way. No.
No, you wouldn't say no cell phone?
Oh, I would, for
you
sure.
Would. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, even we've been out. You have a drink, and I have 2 drinks. I'm like, I'm going home. You know what I mean? Because, and then I go with people I trust. Because, listen, we're kind of buttoned up here. But you know what I mean? I like to let loose when I get around my family and friends and do my thing. I don't want to see that the next day. You know what I mean? You're not in the trust tree, circle of trust.
That's right.
Trust tree.
Best advice I ever heard. I know we got to run. Never take a drink.
Wait, right when I said that, this is it.
I just discovered my secret.
I know, right when it came out, I'm like, oh my God, I said that in her notes.
No way.
Dang.
Yes.
And you gave me that look, and I was like, I can't believe I said trust me.
Okay, we have a Secret Santa. I'm going to pull back the curtain because we tell you guys everything.
Oh my God.
So we do a Secret Santa here at DBL, and you're supposed to give 3 clues. I got a clue today saying in so many words, like you're going to get a great gift, you're in the trust tree or something like that. I was like, trust tree? That's an interesting word.
I know, right when it came out, I looked at you and your eyes got big, and I was like, damn. All right, we got to go.
DBL, that's the AI selfie trend online. Well, we're going to see how we look with a digital makeover. And Dr. Yoon will be here live to talk about how people are trying to look like their AI photo in real life. This is Daily Blast Live. We have fiery debate.
That's not true. Can I finish?
We tell heartfelt stories. We're so emotional over here. We talk to the stars.
Turn up the notch on that. Great research.
DBL is all new every day.
What is a trust tree?
It rhymes with 3, so I said trust tree.
I like trust tree. I'm going to use that from now on.
I do. Branches.
Sam's
going to set it up, and she's going to toss to your guys' avatar. This is a short conversation.
Go for it. You keep going. Yeah, I love the trust tree.
And she's going to say, what do you guys think? We do have to go through Dr. Yoon, so don't go too far into this. What you think of your AIs, okay? So the questions are going to be, Jeff, you are first. Dr. Yoon, here's my avatar. What do you think?
And this is when we're revealing it. We're not going to see him first?
Seen it. You're
okay,
seeing
we
it
already
first.
saw
You've
it.
already seen him. What if I bring this into you? What are you going to do for me? That
Okay.
kind of thing. And then the follow-up is, what is the danger of somebody wanting to look like their avatar? Al, you have question 2. Is it ever safe to use a filter as inspiration to get plastic surgery? And then Tori, you have the third question. Dr. Yoon, we have your avatar as well.
Oh,
Let's take a look.
Can't wait.
He hasn't seen it, so have him respond to that. That's just fun. If we have time, Erica, we're then going to get into Cardi B removing her butt injections and why this was a bad thing to do in the first place. And he's going to talk about that. If we have time, Sam, you have the last question. What's the difference between butt injections and a Brazilian butt lift?
Okay, great.
And then we toss to him, and that's it.
So I just want to keep talking about this because not only did I hear a word that I never heard before called trust tree, but then as soon as he said it, his tell was he looked at me and his eyes like gleamed.
Because, first of all, trust tree, it rhymes with 3. So I was writing like a poem about it. Because we're supposed to write 3 notes. It says, don't expect 3. That's what I meant by that. But then when I go trust tree.
That was you right by that.
I've been like, oh, just don't take 3.
So yeah, and then when I said circle of trust, I looked at Sam to see if she caught it, and she did.
That's so funny.
Welcome back. What does your AI self look like? If you've been wondering, you're not alone. The magic avatar trend is the latest thing sweeping across social media. Take a look.
Trying the AI avatar trend.
Woo. So the app is actually called Lensa AI. You upload various selfies and then it spits out different avatars of you. Let's see what. None of us have done this, right?
No.
Okay, so our producers took photos. We're going to see what our avatars look like. Okay, these are the ones that look the most like us. Let's look at the boys first.
Whoa.
Dude.
Dude, Jeff, you look like good.
I look like
You look depressed.
I look like I'm about to smoke a ciggy in a depressing bar.
Motorcycle. I
Not like Al, though. You looked super sad. That looked like Al. Let's look at the girls. These are the ones that look like us. Oh my God, Erica.
Erica.
Whoa.
Tori.
Oh, I like my
Yeah.
I like Sam's. I like
I
Tori's.
want my pink hair.
I just want to go on record that. What's wrong with my face?
No, your avatar looks like it's going to a nightclub.
Wait, we have more. We have more.
Like it went. No, like it went to a nightclub.
These are the ones that don't look like the boys. These are the ones that don't look like the boys.
Okay.
Oh. Is that a different body on me? It looks like Jeff is my doctor.
All right, these are the girls. These are the girls that don't look like us. They do not. Tori.
No, now
that looks more like you than the other one.
Good, because Erica's so light.
Erica's stunning. Oh, Sam, look at you.
No, this is weird. Why am I so light?
Yeah, that is a problem. People have brought that up. I'm glad you're talking about that.
I'm an NW 4445, aren't I, Jeray?
No, I'm glad you brought that up. I have a girlfriend that is dark-skinned, and she wrote a whole thing on Facebook bringing attention to that her avatar definitely doesn't look like her because of the skin color, and also her nose was narrow, and that really bothered her, rightfully so.
But my nose was right, and it's always been like that. See, my nose is full.
That's good. Good.
Like a
Good.
Cabbage
That's
Patch
her.
Kid.
Okay, so with so many people doing this trend, plastic surgeons are now speaking out about the number of people coming into their office to achieve this look. But is that even realistic? So to help us
Tori's
break it all
helmet's
down,
realistic.
please welcome our favorite holistic plastic surgeon, Dr. Yoon, back to the show. Yay!
Hey, Doc,
Thank you.
let's get right to it, okay? So, what do you think listen, what's happening here? Do I need to duplicate this look, and what should I bring to get it done by you? Do you advise me?
So you can come into my office
and bring this to a doctor?
Yeah, you can come into my office and ask for it, but I can't necessarily give it to you. So ask all you want. I mean, really, when you look at these, it's like they painted a portrait of you, and like paintings from long ago, it's not necessarily all that realistic.
Yeah, of course. What specifically is dangerous, this is so silly, about wanting to achieve these avatars?
Well, the issue is that if you use this as a guide and you say, hey, I kind of like how my skin looks here, then you can use it as a realistic guide. But the fact is there's so many people who would look at something like this and not realize that it is not achievable. And you can undergo procedure after procedure after procedure to try to gain an appearance that just is never going to be achievable in the first place.
All right, Doc, we got to talk about filters and if dating sites could survive without them. Now, people are, bringing in filtered photos as inspiration for plastic surgery. Is that a good idea? Because it does show you kind of the best case scenario of your face. So does that work?
So I think that, once again, you got to be realistic. If you use a filtered photograph as a way to say, I kind of like how my skin looks here. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to clean up my diet. I'm going to use good skincare. I'm going to wear my SPF every day. Then it actually can be a very positive thing. But unfortunately, so many people use it as kind of this guide to look in a way that's almost dysmorphic. And you can undergo procedures that can actually end up making you look worse. And it can be what we call this kind of downward spiral of cosmetic surgery.
Wow. Now, speaking about how dangerous it is, Dr. Yoon, we have yours. So let's take a look at Dr. Yoon's own.
Oh, yeah.
Heck.
I look like I'm from the Squid Game show.
Do you like that, or do you feel like that's weird to look at?
I think it's weird. I mean, it's something that I think is fun, and you can put it out there. But unfortunately, with these types of things, there is that small group of people who maybe have real psychiatric conditions like body dysmorphia, and they may use this in a way that is not healthy.
Right. Okay, so we also need to ask you about another surgery that's making headlines, because rapper Cardi B revealed that she had 95% of her butt injections removed.
Merry Christmas.
And says that people should think twice about this type of surgery. I appreciate her saying this, but why is she saying this, and what are the risks with these types of injections?
So this is a huge deal, and I really credit Cardi B in coming forward with this. She supposedly had these injections done in a hotel room of some type of polymer that was injected into her buttocks. This is not legal. It is extremely dangerous, and you can literally die within minutes of somebody injecting something like this into your buttocks. So she is very, very fortunate, and I'm so glad she's sharing her story.
Wow. I had no idea. Dr. Yoon, thank you so much. DBL Nation, be sure to follow Dr. Yoon on social media. You will not regret it. I love his account.
You are the best.
I know. You can check him out at Tony Yoon MD. We'll be right back. Bye, Doc. Bye, Doc.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
On December 13th, President Joe Biden signed the Respect for Marriage Act into law. It requires federal and state governments to recognize all marriages that were legally performed in any state. Some people, including those affiliated with churches, claimed because the law applied to government agencies that it would give the Internal Revenue Service the power to revoke the tax-exempt status of churches that refused to perform same-sex marriages. And a verified viewer on TikTok asked us what the law actually does. So, let's verify. Does the Respect for Marriage Act give the IRS the ability to revoke the tax-exempt status for churches that oppose same-sex marriage? Our sources are the Respect for Marriage Act, a joint statement issued by some of the senators who passed it, the IRS, and Dale Carpenter, a constitutional law expert with Southern Methodist University. The RFMA explicitly says the law can't be used to deny or alter the tax-exempt status or tax treatment of an eligible person or entity. That language was added by a bipartisan group of senators who wanted to ensure that a church's tax-exempt status is unrelated to marriage. The law also specifies it only applies to those acting under the color of state law, which Carpenter says is a legal expression referring to the government or government officials, not private organizations like churches. So, no, the Respect for Marriage Act does not give the IRS the ability to revoke the tax-exempt status for churches that oppose same-sex marriage. With Your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Welcome back. We've got some amazing products from Side Deal today. Check them out.
Steph, I am so excited for what you have for us. Tell us all about it.
Hey, Tori, and hello, DBL Nation. We are so excited to show you the deals today, and trust me, they are both fabulous, so let's check it out.
Excellent.
So, first up, look at this device.
Whoa, dude.
I know, we've got the Home's Whole House Cool Mist Humidifier with antimicrobial protection. So this deal includes one humidifier that will help keep your home comfortable for you and your guests. So it disperses clean, fresh mist in a space up to 2,000 square feet, and the triple layer filter inhibits the growth of mold, mildew, and odor-causing bacteria.
Oh, fabulous.
Now, quantities of this are extremely limited, so you need to act fast before they're gone. Now, normally these are $170, but we've got it for just $69.99, saving everyone 59%.
Can I be honest? I'm shocking myself everywhere I'm going because it's so dry in the air.
Yes, static is a real issue.
Yeah, so for $69.99, you could just have a better season.
So we've also got something perfect for tech lovers. It's the 2-pack Cobalt X adjustable 2-in-1 smartphone tablet stands. So this deal includes 2 stands that are compatible with most cell phones and tablets, and the stand is adjustable with 360-degree rotation. You can clamp this stand on your kitchen counter, on your desk, and guess what? Even on your treadmill.
Oh, that's so smart.
I know, so this is the perfect hands-free accessory, whether you're loving making TikTok videos, taking FaceTime calls, or for virtual exercise classes.
Smart.
Yeah, so normally these are $30 each, but we've got 2 for $16.99, saving 72%.
Okay, so if you're not a TikTok person, whatever, if you're cooking and you want your recipe up and listen to a podcast, both of these, I love this, and it saves you guys some counter space.
You know what I would use this for? I would use this one for, I play piano, and sometimes I've got a few online apps that I download music from.
Smart.
So I could clip this on the edge of my piano.
That's so smart. All right, guys, head on over to sidedeal.com to snag these amazing deals, and again, at the lowest prices for real. You can even visit sidedeal.com right on your smartphone. Steph, the price wizard, as always, thank you so much. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's a tale as old as time. A couple of celebs made some comments they deemed harmless that other people, well, deemed harmful. This week, Megan Fox and Jennifer Lawrence are the A-listers in the hot seat. But, actually, all press is good press, right? Okay, let's start with J-Law. She's become a Hollywood favorite, but she's not some people's favorite after this comment she made on Variety's interview series, Actors on Actors.
When I was doing Hunger Games, nobody had ever put a woman in the lead of an action movie because it wouldn't work. We were told.
People ran to Twitter to share their thoughts on this comment, saying this was so disrespectful to other icons like Linda Hamilton from The Terminator or Pam Grier from Foxy Brown. Yikes! But Jennifer did tell The Hollywood Reporter that she knows she's not the first female lead in an action movie, and that she meant to say that it feels good to be a lead, and that she was just nervous talking to Viola Davis. Now, while her comment definitely did not come off great, I don't think she meant to volunteer herself as the only female lead of an action movie.
I volunteer as tribute.
Megan Fox is also getting a lot of hate online, but in this case, for like a very trivial reason. You know how everyone's posting that AI arted themselves? Like everyone? Well, Megan Fox was no exception. So she posted her AI portraits on Instagram, and people are not happy about it. Why are people pressed over the portraits, you might ask? Because of her caption. Were everyone's avatars equally as sexual? Like, why are most of mine naked? Well, if you follow Megan Fox, you're aware that in most of her posts, she's in very revealing outfits, so it's not surprising that her AI portraits follow suit. So Instagrammers left petty comments on the post saying she's always half naked and she sexualizes herself. But Megan clapped back to one of the commenters saying, I was being sarcastic. How can anyone think I actually lack this level of self-awareness? I just think it's ironic that the people hating on her sexual content are the same people who follow her. I promise it takes less time to hit the unfollow button than to write a comment. But hey, all press is good press, right? We'll be right back.
What could cause the end of these lower gas prices? Let's connect the dots. The cost of a gallon of regular gas has taken a nosedive after peaking at $5 over the summer. That record high came as we were all dealing with decades-high inflation. Now, falling energy prices could continue to help ease consumer inflation. But AAA says there are a couple of bumps in the road ahead. OPEC, an organization of oil-producing nations, is sticking with its plan to cut crude oil production next year. That could limit global supply. Russia could also slash production after Europe's oil embargo and price cap. That could also reduce supplies across the world. And China's harsh COVID lockdowns have kept many of its residents off the roads. As those restrictions are eased and more people in China travel freely, demand may go up, and that could translate to higher prices for all of us. And that is Connecting the Dots.
Welcome back. Before we go, we have to see those AI photos again. So let's see them all. First, the boys.
Listen, I like mine.
You look like Peaky Blinders, like Tommy Shelby.
I like the roughness and the grittiness.
I love it. Yeah, Al looks the same, but you look great. You look the same though.
Sam, you look like you're in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
I dig it. Yep.
You have an elfish vibe.
You do. I dig it, and I like the pink. Erica looks bold and warrior-esque as always.
Tori's in an abusive relationship.
It's awful. I look awful.
This one is bananas.
That one's weird.
Can I be honest, Al? You look like a Q-tip. It's like it's very weird.
Not a good look. I don't get. Is that my AI? It looks like they just took my head off and put on somebody else's
You're
body.
right. Jeff looks like a doctor.
Yeah, mine's not good.
Oh, those are good.
Yeah.
I look like.
Tori's is growing on me.
I like it. I think I'm an astronaut.
Why do you have a helmet?
I'm an astronaut in the future, I think.
That doesn't look like an astronaut helmet. It looks like the helmet in that one old diving movie with Cuba Gooding Jr.
Men of Honor. How did
you mean
I
the
know
old
that?
ones? Like
Someone said yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Can I get some props for knowing that?
Good, that was a good one.
I don't know. I've never even seen the movie.
And by the way, that looks nothing like that scuba helmet.
absolutely
I was going to take mine and put it into a voiceover because I always wanted to be a cartoon character.
Ooh,
yeah.
you'd be good.
Yeah, like
Give
one of
us a
those.
voice.
All right, DBL's new every day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Mine would be
Same time,
like,
same place.
help.
I'm drunk.
Where hope finds help. Where courage meets conviction. Where makers make fans. We are Tegna, a family of local and national media brands that bring us together, serving the greater good of our communities. Where national know-how backs local business. Be in good company with Tegna.
Season's greetings from me to you. Be healthy, be happy, and most importantly, be kind to yourself.
I want to wish you all a very healthy and joyous holiday season.
We want to extend all the blessings and joy from our family to you.
From our family here at DBL to yours, we want to wish you a happy holiday season.
All of the love, all the prosperity, all of the joy, because you deserve it.
Here's what we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
The death of DJ Stephen Twitch Boss shocks fans as he's remembered for his time on Ellen. What we know so far about what happened. Jay Leno talks for the first time about his terrifying accident.
The pilot light jumped and my face caught on fire.
Plus, the avatar selfie trend has some people wanting to get these looks in real life. Dr. Yoon is here live to give us his take on using filters as inspiration for plastic surgery. And our interview with the fabulous Vivica A. Fox.
Why are you starting off here to begin with?
Oh my gosh.
Get real.
No. Y'all, just stop.
This is a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. We begin today with some very sad news. Stephen Twitch Boss, who was Ellen's DJ on her talk show, has passed away. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner said he died in a hotel yesterday. And the Today Show and other news outlets are reporting that it was by suicide. He was just 40 years old. Twitch was best known, of course, as Ellen's DJ and for his love, his happiness, his dancing. He joined the show in 2014. He was promoted to co-executive producer in 2020 and stood by Ellen after her show was accused of being a toxic workplace. He and his wife, Allison, gained millions of followers on TikTok, showing off their dance moves and would sometimes get their 3 kids involved. Now, in a statement, his wife said, quote, Stephen lit up every room he stepped into. He valued family, friends, and community above all else, and leading with love and light was everything to him. He was the backbone of our family, the best husband and father, and inspiration to his fans. And in fact, Ellen just recently tweeted her thoughts. She wrote, I'm heartbroken. Twitch was pure love and light. He was my family, and I loved him with all my heart. I will miss him. Please send your love and support to Allison and his beautiful children, Wesley, Maddox, and Zaya. Wow, right before the holidays. You know, Tori, you talk very openly, we all do, about our struggles with mental illness, and you just never know. It does not discriminate. You never know if someone's suffering, no matter how happy they seem to be.
I saw, excuse me, it's check on your happy friends. That's what I saw on Instagram, social media today. Check on the ones that you think are doing okay. From all accounts, Twitch had the perfect life. He was happy. His wife, I've been following him since So You Think You Can Dance. So is Allison, his wife, a contestant. Yeah. They are, when you dance, you exude joy, and that's all he did, was just exude joy. So when this happened, I think all of us are really in shock right now because it seems like the opposite of someone who's depressed. So please remember this phrase, check on your happy friends, because it hits indiscriminately and people can put on a face, because I did it for a long, long, long time. I'm so saddened by this for their family, for the holidays, every holiday, they're gonna remember this moment. So I'm just really shocked, really
I was
shocked.
gonna say, Jeff, you said that this hit you harder than you thought it would.
Yeah.
Like, what did you mean by that? You said that right before the show started.
Well, yeah, because I was talking to my wife this morning, and they celebrated their 9-year anniversary 4 days ago. And on Instagram, it's all good, right? And that's why I always talk about Instagram and all that, but I want to talk about Twitch because I know I'm not a dancer, I'm not maybe nothing like Twitch, but I see a little piece of me in him. When Anthony Bourdain died, it really affected me. And this is the same way, he's a family man. And I can't imagine myself doing something like that. But over the years that, you know, we talk about this very openly about our struggles and other people's struggles. And I was like, why would you do that to your family? There's a mental disorder within yourself that makes you do something like that. And I realize that now. We're going to put numbers on the screen after, but there is help out there. He didn't leave his kids. He needed to do something that his mind told him. I went through that when my wife had postpartum, and I didn't understand it, and it helped me realize it. So for some reason, I felt like a little piece of me was with Twitch today. Like I could do something like that. And it really bothered me seeing, you know, those. It just bothered me.
Can we have some Kleenex up here?
Yeah.
You know, Sam.
Erica, I want to give Erica a moment. You're crying.
No, it's very weird because I was thinking about my girlfriend who unfortunately took her life 2 years ago around this time, almost a few years to the date. And I appreciate what you're saying about just the idea of you've changed your mind or you've understood more based on your own experiences, because there was certainly a time that I felt like suicide is like the most selfish thing you can do. And I repeated that even when my friend passed away because I was so angry. Like, I was so angry in the beginning, before I even got to sadness. I just think it's really important, especially during this time of the year, that we are really aware that this is a very tough time for a lot of people. And so I also think that it's our responsibility to send our condolences out to so many of you, because we understand that before you had us at this particular time on your particular network, you had him and you saw him every day. And we want to acknowledge that you are grieving at home, because when you allow any of us to come into your homes every day at the same time, it is such a privilege that we are spending time with you, and we know how you feel about us. So I am sorry for your loss today as well.
That was beautifully stated, Erica. We do have some numbers, as Jeff pointed out, on our screen for any of you that may want to reach out for help. Please take a screen grab of it, take a look. You are not alone. Every single one of us up here have been in pretty dark, deep holes, and you can crawl out of it. Help does work. Treatment works. Our thoughts and prayers with Twitch's family. All right, we're going to move on to another topic that a lot of you are talking about. Megan Thee Stallion took the stand yesterday in Los Angeles, and here she is on her way into court. She was testifying in a case against fellow rapper Tory Lanez for allegedly shooting her in the feet in 2020 after a party in the Hollywood Hills. She told the jury that Lanez shot her after yelling at her to, quote-unquote, dance bleep. Megan said she's still dealing with nerve pain along with the fallout from the incident. She said Lanez offered her $1 million not to tell the police what happened. And at one point, Megan was in tears, saying she wished he had killed her had she known about all the backlash she would get from the music industry and from folks on social media. Lanez has pleaded not guilty to the felony charges against him. He faces more than 22 years in prison. And just to give our audience more context, and Erica, you spoke about this months ago when we brought up the entire situation, is so many people started to victim blame her, said that she was doing it for attention or she was making it up. Why, Erica, in your opinion?
Because the most disrespected person on this planet is the black woman, and it's a shame when people who look like you make that your reality. I mean, this was a great opportunity, especially at the moment that it happened, when we were yelling from the rooftops to protect black women, to actually put action behind that. But instead, people who look like her and people who don't have decided to re-victimize her when we know no one is disputing that she was shot. We have decided to make a mockery out of her personal life and put on trial the intimacy of what possibly happened or did not happen in her bedroom. Where else do we do this at for someone who has been shot multiple times? At the precipice of the height of her career. She did not need this type of attention. And for anyone to insinuate that she is doing this for attention, or she's doing it for nefarious purposes, that she's doing it for any reason other than justice, really needs a reality check. And you also need to look your daughters in the eyes, look your nieces in the eyes, your mama, your auntie, your grandmother, and acknowledge to them that the things that you are saying about this woman who was a victim of a violent act are going to be applied in their minds too. So just know that when you're saying this, Megan's probably not going to hear you, but your daughter will.
Yeah. I'm just seeing her walk into court. I'm so happy, because when we covered this case, I was like, I don't think we've ever talked about an A-list celebrity that was shot multiple times, and it was so opaque in terms of what was happening around her. And I'm really happy that she's going to get her day in court, because the first thing that really hit me, and Erica, you really touched on it, was people were saying she did this for attention. I'm like, here's how I know you're famous. My mom knows who you are. Yeah. My mom knows who Megan Thee Stallion is. You don't need any more publicity after that. She has crossed over gender, socioeconomic, age. Everybody knows who she is. So the fact that she would do this for like she's some TikToker trying to get a publicity stunt is ridiculous. So I'm glad we're going to hear this in court under oath, and we can just get this out and get this done with, and justice can be served however it is.
I certainly hope it does. We'll be right back.
it's happy holiday season time.
From our DBL family to yours, we want to wish you
a happy holiday season.
A happy holiday season.
We're live. So I was just, we were just speaking about what Erica had said regarding the audience, who is now our audience, because we moved time slots. We now have Ellen's time slot in most of the cities, or a number of the cities here. And it's something I never connected. I mean, I thought of Twitch, of how I knew Twitch. I had met him through a friend of mine, Tammy, who dances, and I barely met him, but I just looked within. For Erica to think about our audience, who probably has spent so many hours cumulatively watching him and feeling like they knew him.
I didn't even think about it. I know.
Console him, I thought was really powerful.
I can't believe I didn't even think about it.
Me neither.
This might be like a weird side tangent, but I thought about this because my friend said this a long time ago about being a gun owner. And he said the one thing about being a gun owner is obviously being responsible in how you use it and how you care for it and who has access to it, but also there's going to be a time in everybody's life where like you're going to have a thought to use it on yourself. And this is one of the things that people don't discuss with guns is my friend comedian Jack Knight, who passed away. He took his own life with a gun 4 months ago. And it's it's just I think if you don't have access, maybe it gives you that one day to sleep on it. Maybe you just have one friend time to get there to you, but the gun is so instant.
It's there.
That it's just there.
And
it's
if you
just
act on
instant,
that impulse.
like a trap door almost,
Yep, that is so well said.
And it's terrible because we don't think about guns towards other people or guns when your kids find them, but you don't think about just like you. Suicide. Like everybody has a bad day, a bad month, a bad 5 years, and they're like, this is it, and
you're giving me chills.
Yeah, it's
We're
talking about
Very decorated in the studio. We like that little shot of the wreath. Okay, so welcome back. We're going to talk about something that we have not talked about in a while. Yes, masks. I know it's a hot button issue. While health officials across the country are urging Americans to put their masks back on between COVID, the flu, and other respiratory diseases that are spiking right now, they say masking up is the best way to keep you and your family healthy. Here's what Dr. Fauci said about it yesterday.
We're getting cold weather. We're getting an uptick in cases, and we have the holiday season where people are congregating indoors. Our hope is a call to people to realize how important it is to do that, to get vaccinated, to be careful, wear a mask where appropriate in indoor settings.
So DBL Nation, we need to hear from you. Will you be masking up this holiday season? Go to dblvote.com to weigh in. Tori, I just want to read you this statistic in regard to Americans and masking. So during the first 2 years of COVID, between 50% and 80% of Americans wore the mask, seeing the data and knowing how it protected against COVID and other respiratory diseases. As of September, only around 29% have been wearing masks outside of their homes. Two-part question. Why do you think that is? And do you think people are going to listen to Fauci now that he's been so politicized?
No, I think there is a lot of heat around Fauci. They should. He's saved millions of lives by this, but I think there is a lot of political talk here. I have to say this. In other countries, masks are very normal. They're normalized. And Americans, when we get bored of something, we move on really, really quickly. We've moved on from masks, apparently. It's not over, but we've moved on. We need to somehow normalize it, like in other Asian cultures, in places in which people in the studio are still wearing masks. That needs to be something you have in your car. That needs to be something you wear in the airport. This is part of our helping a society as one. That's what you have to do. You got to put in a little work, wear a cloth, and protect it. Because at this point, Americans who move on, we're done, and it's going to come right back. So I say.
I was going to say, I love what you said about normalizing. And Jeff, you talk about being in Japan and different parts of Asia. And like, that's what I noticed when I was over there, is everybody has a mask on in the airport. Like, everybody does. And I went to do my USO tours in 2018 and 2016. So it was very normalized. And I felt like I stood out over there not having one on. So I was in North Carolina doing shows this weekend. Shout out to Charlotte. Great time there. And honestly, I would say in the showroom, there were probably 25% of the people wearing masks and 25% of the staff wearing masks, which never happened pre-COVID. So maybe this is kind of where we are now.
Yeah, I just got back from Chicago, and about 25% of people on a plane were wearing a mask. I would say, listen, if people don't want to wear it, they're not going to wear it. Right. I mean, at this point, we're already over it. But if I was not feeling great or something, I'm going to be honest, I don't think I'd wear it at Christmas with my family. But if I was not feeling great while I was traveling, I'd wear a mask to protect others.
There you go.
Because I don't want to be selfish.
There you go.
So, I mean, people are going to do what they want to do, and that's probably the end of it.
And talk to your doctor. If you don't trust Fauci, please talk to your doctor.
Or me.
46% say yes, you will be wearing a mask. 53% of you say no. All right, coming up on DBL, we talk with Vivica A. Fox all about her new project, A New Divas Christmas Carol. Stay tuned.
On December 13th, President Joe Biden signed the Respect for Marriage Act into law. It requires federal and state governments to recognize all marriages that were legally performed in any state. Some people, including those affiliated with churches, claimed because the law applied to government agencies that it would give the Internal Revenue Service the power to revoke the tax-exempt status of churches that refused to perform same-sex marriages. And a verified viewer on TikTok asked us what the law actually does. So, let's verify. Does the Respect for Marriage Act give the IRS the ability to revoke the tax-exempt status for churches that oppose same-sex marriage? Our sources are the Respect for Marriage Act, a joint statement issued by some of the senators who passed it, the IRS, and Dale Carpenter, a constitutional law expert with Southern Methodist University. The RFMA explicitly says the law can't be used to deny or alter the tax-exempt status or tax treatment of an eligible person or entity. That language was added by a bipartisan group of senators who wanted to ensure that a church's tax-exempt status is unrelated to marriage. The law also specifies it only applies to those acting under the color of state law, which Carpenter says is a legal expression referring to the government or government officials, not private organizations like churches. So, no, the Respect for Marriage Act does not give the IRS the ability to revoke the tax-exempt status for churches that oppose same-sex marriage. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Darling, if we wanted to kill you, we would have done that already.
What she means is, hi, we're just 3 regular old spirits who've been assigned to you to make your life better. Aren't you lucky?
Welcome back to DBL. That was A Divas Christmas Carol, and Vivica A. Fox is slaying in her latest film. Earlier, we caught up with her. Take a look.
Okay, so the stars in A New Divas Christmas Carol include Ashanti, Robin Givens, Eva Marcel, and Spice Girl Mel B. So who is the biggest diva in the movie?
Why are you starting off the interview giving me trouble?
I'm giving you some Christmas drama. I want my lump of coal.
Okay. If I had to pick, I'd say Ashanti, just because she was doing this film. No, listen, she was doing our film, and then she was also touring. She had interviews. She had a lot going on, but she really delivered for us and played the role of Aphrodite wonderful, and she contributed to the soundtrack. So the fact that you're going to get to hear her sing, she has the voice of an angel. I honestly did not know she was that good of a singer.
Wow.
Okay, so that's the biggest diva in real life. Now, what about the biggest diva as character-wise in the movie?
Ashanti.
It's still Ashanti.
She was giving everybody the blues, and we had to pull her choke chain and said, now come on back and enjoy love and Christmas.
I just want to ask you, was there a moment on set because, you know, there's a certain chemistry on set. But was there a moment where you really felt the spirit of Christmas, like on set, like you were like, oh, these are my people?
To be honest with you, every day.
Yeah.
Because we had a lot of work to do. We just finished this film in August. So we all had to come in, be focused. We ran lines with each other. We made suggestions to the director. It was really a collaborative effort. The special effects were added later, but for the director to help us understand where we were, because we went through her past, present, and then took her to her future. So we would be like, okay, now where are we at today, and where are we about to escape to? Because my character took us through the time travel thing with this when that happened. So I would say every day we really work together as a wonderful team to create movie magic, and more importantly, Christmas magic.
I love that. A good ensemble.
Yeah.
All right, so in real life, who will you be spending the holidays with this year? I sound like a creeper.
You really
Where
do.
will you
Where can I
find you?
Yes.
Yes, girl, when you hear about my Christmas ritual, you're going to be like, okay, V, I might want to join you. I start off the day having breakfast with my godson, Christian, and his family. Then I go to the Beverly Hot Springs, soak in the waters, have a good massage. Then I go to my business partner, Lita Richardson, and we binge watch all the NBA games and have lunch. And then I finish out the night with a Uno tournament and fish fry with my boy, Darren Bond.
Oh my gosh, that's the coolest night ever.
It's a full day, I told you.
An Uno tournament?
I just
She topped it with a
any
cherry.
one of those things would have been my favorite. You had me at NBA binge watch, and I was like, you could have stopped talking, but then you went to Uno tournament. That's my thing.
I'm like, I go to my grandma's house.
Yes. There's nothing like somebody with a draw four on Christmas. Like, yeah, go ahead and get in there.
Good call.
Yeah.
Exactly. Bam. And I, you know, pop it on you.
You're done.
That's what's up. Now, you know, obviously you have a full Christmas day. I'm going to speak for the men, and I can speak for myself. I dropped the ball on a few Christmases, so a few Christmas gifts. I should have consulted with some friends. What is the worst Christmas gift that you've ever gotten from a man?
Nothing.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah,
There's no
nothing.
skipping Christmas.
Like, really? You just think your presence is the gift? Really?
Yeah, it's weird because I'm sure you had one for him.
I am a great gift giver. I really am. I love birthdays and I love Christmas. So, you know, it was kind of chintzy. He got kicked to the curb.
Yeah. Well, so let's go back to divas. So you ran into housewife Kenya Moore since your epic showdown on Celebrity Apprentice, but it went well, right? So tell us that story.
Well, that was really, I mean, you know, I'm not a mean girl whatsoever, but she really tried me on Celebrity Apprentice, taking my phone. You know, she hasn't officially confessed to that.
Yeah.
But honestly, it was her little girl. We were in Crustacean's restaurant in Beverly Hills, and her little girl just walked over to me, and I was like, hi, baby. And and Kenya walked over and was like, hey, girl. And I was like, come on, let's go on and drop this. I mean, we're both adults. And daughter's beautiful. It's good to see you in a new chapter as a mom. And we squashed it.
Wow. What an adult thing to do. The power of a little child, too, right?
Right. And I think kids soften you a little bit. I just had a baby a year ago, and so it helps me like, okay, am I really mad or, you know, am I not?
Absolutely.
Congratulations on your new baby.
Thank you so much, Vivica. I appreciate that.
Kinsley's the best. Thank you so much for joining us, Vivica. DBL Nation, a new Divas Christmas Carol premieres tonight on VH1. Again, so lovely to chat with you.
Come back soon.
That's true. We'll be right back.
Happy blessed holidays, darlings. And here's to a fabulous 2023.
That's right. And you, and to you.
Billions of emails are sent every day. And as we all probably see in our inboxes, many of them are marketing promotions. Verify viewer Linda says her inbox is full of them. She texted our team to ask if a business can sell her email address after she unsubscribed from its mailing list. So Linda, let's verify. Our sources are the Canned Spam Act, the Federal Trade Commission, and Andrew Sternke, Chief Executive Officer and Private Investigator at Juris Disputes and Investigations. A 2003 federal law called the Canned Spam Act sets the rules for businesses that send commercial marketing emails. It requires companies to do two things: identify these emails as advertising and tell you how to opt out of receiving future emails from that company. According to the Canned Spam Act and the FTC, Once you submit an opt-out request, businesses must remove you from their mailing list within 10 days, and they can no longer sell or transfer your email address. The FTC says there's one exception. Companies can transfer emails on its mailing list to a company that it's hired to help them comply with the Canned Spam Act. If companies don't follow the rules, they can face hefty fines. So Linda, we can verify, no. Businesses are not legally allowed to sell your email address after you unsubscribe from their mailing list. According to cybersecurity expert Andrew Sternke, the removal of emails from a mailing list is a self-regulated process that comes with some issues.
There's nothing saying that they didn't already sell your information, your email, prior to you opting out. They just can't do it once you opt out.
With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till. Poinsettias are one of the most popular holiday plants. Their colorful leaves can range from a creamy white to a bright red. For years, people have claimed that the plant is lethal to cats and dogs. Recent online search trends show people are wondering about that claim as they start decorating for the holidays. So let's verify. Are poinsettias deadly to pets? Our sources are the ASPCA, the American Kennel Club, and the Pet Poison Helpline. Snap open a leaf of the plant and its milky white sap will ooze out. The chemicals in the sap are similar to those found in detergents. If cats and dogs consume them, they may experience gastrointestinal irritation, such as nausea, vomiting, drooling, or sometimes diarrhea. Contact with the sap can also cause skin irritation, including redness, swelling, and itchiness. But all three of our sources agree that chemicals found in the plant's sap are only mildly toxic to pets, not fatal. The Pet Poison Helpline website says claims about pet poisoning from the plant's sap are greatly exaggerated. So we can verify, no, poinsettias are not deadly to pets. But consuming the sap and the plant's leaves in general is still not good for them. So to be safe, the American Kennel Club recommends keeping poinsettias out of your pet's reach during the holiday season. The ASPCA says holly and mistletoe, which can cause gastrointestinal irritation as well as cardiovascular problems when ingested, should also be kept out of your pet's reach. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till.
Welcome back. We got a comment for Al. Melissa says, in regards to Vivica, it looked like Al wanted to get on Vivica's Christmas plans.
Wow. I was just trying to talk to a fellow entertainer about, expanding, because she's so good at time management. I want to see how she does it. She does everything.
Did you DM her and thank her?
I'm trying to get me in trouble.
If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online. Watch on YouTube, dailyblastlive.com, or our app. But if you get the second half of the show where you are, here is what's ahead. The AI avatar trend makes its way into plastic surgery offices. Dr. Yoon will be here live to tell us what the craze is all about. And Jay Leno does his first interview since his terrifying accident. What he says happened in the moments leading up to getting badly burned.
Hospitals need blood to perform surgery and treat trauma patients. In January, the American Red Cross declared a crisis due to the worst blood shortage in over a decade. But are outbreaks of the flu and RSV making it worse? Let's verify. Our sources are the American Red Cross and Blood Assurance, a nonprofit that serves healthcare facilities in Georgia and 4 other states. Nationwide, hospitalizations for the flu are at the highest level in over a decade, while emergency room visits due to RSV, or respiratory syncytial virus, are elevated. Blood Assurance reports that some donation drives have been canceled because too many people called out sick. In a statement, the CEO of Blood Assurance said it's quite alarming because it's not even winter yet. Evan Peterson of the American Red Cross adds, anyone feeling sick should not donate blood.
We do a health screening before anyone is able to donate, just to make sure that, hey, the day of when we're about to take this blood, is your blood where we need it to be? And unfortunately, some people do just get disqualified as a result of that.
Both organizations are offering a variety of incentives to healthy people willing to donate in December. Peterson says the Red Cross gets a lot of questions from people wondering if it's okay to donate if you're recently vaccinated.
If you have a COVID vaccine or booster, or you have your flu shot vaccine or booster, that does not disqualify you from donating.
So we can verify the recent viral outbreaks have impacted our nation's blood supply, leading organizations to encourage people to get vaccinated to stay well and donate.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Get real.
No. Y'all, just stop.
This is a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll. Welcome to DBL. So Jay Leno is speaking out about the garage fire that left him with burns on his face, chest, and hands. He spoke to Hoda Kotb on the Today Show about how it happened. Watch.
It was a 1907 white steam car. So the fuel line was clogged. So I was underneath it trying to clog it. And I said, blow some air through the line. Let's see if we can clear. And then a line, and then boom, and suddenly, boom, I got a face full of gas. And then the pilot light jumped and my face caught on fire. And I said to my friend, I said, Dave, I'm on fire. And Dave was like, okay. I said, no, Dave, I'm on fire.
Wow. Jay also revealed photos of his burns while at the burn center where he was treated for 10 days. Now, Jay joked that he wasn't worried about what he would look like after because he's not, quote unquote, George Clooney. I admire that attitude. I do. Or do you think that's him trying to hide behind hide his hurt with his humor, Jeff?
I think a lot. I mean, he's a comedian, right? So I think he does that naturally, but I think we all do that in some sort of way. But for having gasoline burn on your face, I think he looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Right? And I think he's lucky that he got away with what he got away with. But having that positive attitude about things, accidents happen. He loves what he does. I'm sure he's going to go right back to fixing cars. So good on Jay.
It's just weird that, like, I've known someone who got really badly burned where you have the skin grafts. What you didn't see is just how drastically painful it is. It goes into the muscle fibers of your being. And so it's just, Jay has a very strong character. I mean, that is, you are 10 out of 10 in pain. Burn victims have a very, very, very difficult time. So good on him for keeping up such a high spirit.
But yeah, I feel like he, and I said this when we initially covered the story, he has like one kind of bow in his quiver, and that's that he is a comic. Yeah. So he can fight back with this because usually you kind of, most people internalize things and like, how are people going to look at me? But as a comic, you've been on stage your whole life. You're used to people looking at you. And also, if you look at a lot of comedians, Josh Blue, he's got MS, I believe, and he's one of the most famous comics. The friend of mine, of course, his name escapes me. He's on America's Got Talent. He got hit in the throat with a softball when he was a kid. It destroyed his vocal cords, and he made it far on America's Got Talent because he incorporated that into his act. So I'm expecting, Jay, as soon as I saw that, every comic was like, oh, you got a new hour. Like, it's so weird.
It's going to be called like, I'm on fire.
Yes, exactly. So, take the negative and make a positive. So I'm expecting big things from Jake.
All right. Okay, so Drake, you guys, is getting roasted over a piece of jewelry. The rapper commissioned a necklace by jewelry designer Alex Moss that was inspired by his past lovers. The piece, called Previous Engagements, is made up of 42 diamonds that represent the 42 times Drake got close to proposing. Ugh. The necklace took 14 months to complete.
Just so dumb.
And is worth an estimated $4 million, but some people online called out Drake for this strange gesture. Some called it embarrassing. Others said it was corny. Tori, you blurted out it's dumb.
That's like 42 times you were going to get married. 42. Can you know we are at 30? You still got 12 more. 42? What are you? Some kind of
Tori, how many people
addict?
Tori, how many people do you think you've met where you were like, I could have potentially married this?
Two.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
And then I realized that definitely one. But like over 5 I feel like is a lot. Did anyone find this like cringy?
I think we're expecting that because after his last album where he was calling out happily married women that he once connected with and have moved on with their lives, we were anticipating that the next album would just be called Therapy Session because I believe that that's the next stop lot for him.
Yeah, like what's going on with Drake?
I mean, it's just I feel kind of bad for him. Like, he seems hurt. Like, he really does. He seems like really hurt. I mean, like, his
So you buy the diamond?
Like,
Wasn't
yeah,
his
like it
album
was.
cover a bunch of like different babies. Remember, he had a bunch of.
I don't know. It was
newborn babies?
something before. I think I've realized that I've gotten older than the demographic that he's going for, because I'm like, baby, honey,
something's wrong.
Just get a little therapy. We'd love to hear about that. Drake, your next album, just therapy session, 1.0, 2.0 until it's done. We could use that in the community. Absolutely.
It's just funny that he puts it on blast. You know, because there's a lot of people that love very hard, right? Or they're a love addict or a sex addict, whatever it may be. But the fact that he's like, I'm going to get a necklace with all 42 possible proposals. Why do you think he put it on blast like that?
That he remembered 42.
Yeah, dude.
1, 2.
Yeah, well, then there was Karen and
Don't forget Kiki.
And you were looking at him in the eyes. It might be 43 after you watch this segment, Erica.
All right, so we got to talk about Jennifer Aniston, too, because she hosted an exclusive party full of her A-list friends. But, of course, the party reportedly happened at her home in Bel Air and included stars like Sandra Bullock, Courtney Cox, and Lisa Kudrow, plus Tobey Maguire, Jason Bateman, and Bradley Cooper. Just so we're clear, these pics are not from the party because, according to Page 6, it was a no cell phone event.
Awesome.
Not as a rule, just so nobody posted anything on social media. Erica, you said awesome.
I love that. I love that. I've been doing more no cell phone events because people, especially when you're serving alcohol, then people's boundaries start to slide a little bit more. Then all of a sudden you wake up the next morning and something you never would have posted on a story, like even if it's not even as that big of a deal, like you're just swearing and you never
Just
post
not a good look.
Yeah, something that wouldn't be something you would normally do, and now someone has posted you all over their social media. Like, I've gotten to the point where I just tell people, like, we have a professional photographer here.
Yeah.
You don't actually even need to take any photos. If you want certain photos, you can get a great photo with this person as opposed to on your phone with bad lighting. That way you don't have to worry about, somebody posting something that they shouldn't.
Or here's another weird option. You could just enjoy the evening.
Yeah.
You could just enjoy the evening without trying to capture it in real time. Are you going to go back and be like, wow, remember that time me and Erica were sitting on the couch? I would rather remember the conversation that we had on that couch. I get that people live online and posting your life is a big deal. I get all that, Sam. But I do think that things are missed when people are constantly taking pictures. It throws the rhythm of conversations off. It makes people, hey, stop talking to Jeff real quick. Let's get a picture. You guys start talking again. It just throws the rhythm of the night off.
You're just not in the present moment, ever. You're just never in the. If the goal in life is to live every moment in the present moment, you couldn't be farther from that. And the energy passes on to everybody. You're absolutely right. Oh, picture this. Well, I'm not going to talk to you then. And you just have to work on that because it's very easy to do.
I think it gets a bad rap, though, and I agree with all of you. But it gets a bad rap because we always hear it with celebrities, right? Because they don't want certain things to get out. I think this is actually quite relatable, again, for what the reasons you all stated, to be present, boundaries, whether you have $1 million or no money in your checking account. I think what all of us can fall victim to, what Erica said, is the fact that you get a couple drinks in you, the next morning you look at your phone and you regret some of those decisions.
How many teachers have we seen fired
There
for
you go.
things that they were doing at a holiday party and things that no one would have ever known about? It's like...
Would you do this?
No way. No,
you wouldn't say no cell phone?
Oh, I would, for
you
sure.
Would. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, even we've been out. You have a drink, and I have 2 drinks. I'm like, I'm going home. You know what I mean? Because and then I go with people I trust. Because listen, we're kind of buttoned up here, but you know what I mean. I like to let loose when I get around my family and friends and do my thing. I don't want to see that the next day. You know what I mean? You're not in the trust tree, circle of trust.
That's right.
Trust tree.
Best advice I ever heard. I know we got to run. Never take a drink.
Wait, right when I said that, this is it.
I just discovered my secret.
I know. Right when it came out, I'm like, oh my God! I said that in her notes.
No way.
Dang.
Yes.
And you gave me that look, and I was like, I can't believe I said trust tree.
Okay, we have a Secret Santa. I'm going to pull back the curtain because we tell you guys everything.
Oh, my God.
So we do a Secret Santa here at DBL, and you're supposed to give 3 clues. I got a clue today saying, in so many words, like you're going to get a great gift, you're in the trust tree, or something like that. I was like, trust tree? That's an interesting word.
I I know. Right when it came out, I looked at you and your eyes got big, and I was like, damn. All right, we gotta go.
DBL, that's hilarious. The AI selfie trend online. Well, we're going to see how we look with a digital makeover. And Dr. Yoon will be here live to talk about how people are trying to look like their AI photo in real life. This is Daily Blast Live. We have fiery debate. That's not true. Can I finish? We tell heartfelt stories. We're so emotional over here. We talk to the stars.
Turn up the notch on that. Great research.
DBL is all new every day.
So, what is a trust tree?
It rhymes with 3, so I said trust tree.
I like trust tree. I'm going to use that from now on.
I do. Branches.
Sam's going
to set it up, and she's going to toss to your guys' avatar. This is a short conversation.
Go for it. You can go in. Yeah, I love the trust tree.
And she's going to say, what do you guys think? We do have to keep Dr. Yoon, so don't go too far into this. What you think of your AIs, okay? So the questions are going to be, Jeff, you are first. Dr. Yoon, here's my avatar. What do you think?
And this is when we're revealing it. We're not going to see him first? Okay, we already saw it.
You've already seen him. What if I bring this into you? What are you going to do for me? That kind of thing. And then the follow-up is, what is the danger of somebody wanting to look like their avatar? Al, you have question 2. Is it ever safe to use a filter as inspiration to get plastic surgery? And then Tori, you have the third question. Dr. Yoon, we have your avatar as well. Let's take a look.
Can't wait.
He hasn't seen it, so have him respond to that. That's just fun. If we have time, Erica, we're then going to get into Cardi B removing her butt injections and why this was a bad thing to do in the first place. And he's going to talk about that. If we have time, Sam, you have the last question. What's the difference between butt injections and a Brazilian butt lift? Okay, great. And then we toss to him, and that's it. So I just want to keep talking about this because not only did I hear a word that I'd never heard before called trust tree, but then as soon as he said it, his tell was he looked at me and his eyes like gleamed.
Because, first of all, trust tree, it rhymes with 3. So I was writing like a poem about it. Because we're supposed to write 3 notes. It says, don't expect 3. That's what I meant by that. But then when I go trust tree.
That was you right by that.
I would have been like, oh, just get out of here. Don't take 3.
So yeah, and then when I said circle of trust, I looked at Sam to see if she caught it, and she did.
That's so funny.
Welcome back. What does your AI self look like? If you've been wondering, you're not alone. The magic avatar trend is the latest thing sweeping across social media. Take a look.
Trying the AI avatar trend.
So the app is actually called Lensa AI. You upload various selfies and then it spits out different avatars of you. Let's see what. None of us have done this, right?
No.
Okay, so our producers took photos. We're going to see what our avatars look like. Okay, these are the ones that look the most like us. Let's look at the boys first. Whoa!
Dude.
Dude,
Jeff, you look like good.
I look like
You look depressed.
I look like I'm about to smoke a ciggy in a depressing bar.
Motorcycle, yeah, I
Not like Al, though. You looked super sad. That looked like Al. Let's look at the girls. These are the ones that look like us. Oh my God, Erica.
Erica.
Whoa.
Tori.
Oh, I like my pink hair.
I like Sam's. I like
I
Tori's.
want my pink hair.
I just want to go on record
that.
What's wrong with my face?
No, your avatar looks like it's going to a nightclub.
We have more. We have more.
Like it went. No, like it went to a nightclub.
These are the ones that don't look like the boys. See, these are the ones that don't look like the boys.
Okay.
Oh. Is that a different body on me? It looks like Jeff is my doctor.
All right, these are the girls. These are the girls that don't look like us. They do not. Tori.
Oh, now there
That looks more like you than the other one.
Good, because
Erica's so light.
Erica's stunning. Oh, Sam, look at you.
No, this is weird. Why am I so light?
Yeah, that is a problem. when people have brought that up. I'm glad you're talking about that.
I'm an NW 4445, aren't I, Jeray?
No, I'm glad you brought that up. I have a girlfriend that is dark-skinned, and she wrote a whole thing on Facebook bringing attention to that her avatar definitely doesn't look like her because of the skin color, and also her nose was narrow, and that really bothered her, rightfully so.
But my nose was right, and it's always been like that. See, my nose is full.
That's good.
Like a Cabbage Patch Kid.
Okay, so with so many people doing this trend, plastic surgeons are now speaking out about the number of people coming into their office to achieve this look. But is that even realistic? So to help us break it all down,
realistic.
please welcome our favorite holistic plastic surgeon, Dr. Yoon, back to the show. Yay!
Hey, Doc.
Thank you.
Let's get right to it, okay? So, what do you think should I listen? What's happening here? Do I need to duplicate this look, and what should I bring to get it done by you? Do you advise me?
So you can come into my office
and bring this to a doctor.
Yeah, you can come into my office and ask for it, but I can't necessarily give it to you. So ask all you want. I mean, really, when you look at these, it's like they painted a portrait of you, and like paintings from long ago, it's not necessarily all that realistic.
Yeah, of course. What specifically is dangerous, this is so silly, about wanting to achieve these avatars?
Well, the issue is that if you use this as a guide and you say, hey, I kind of like how my skin looks here, then you can use it as a realistic guide. But the fact is there's so many people who would look at something like this and not realize that it is not achievable. And you can undergo procedure after procedure after procedure to try to gain an appearance that just is never going to be achievable in the first place.
All right, Doc, we got to talk about filters and if dating sites could survive without them. Now, people are, bringing in filtered photos as inspiration for plastic surgery. Is that a good idea? Because it does show you kind of the best case scenario of your face. So does that work?
So I think that, once again, you got to be realistic. If you use a filtered photograph as a way to say, I kind of like how my skin looks here. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to clean up my diet. I'm going to use good skincare. I'm going to wear my SPF every day. Then it actually can be a very positive thing. But unfortunately, so many people use it as kind of this guide to look in a way that's almost dysmorphic. And you can undergo procedures that can actually end up making you look worse. And it can be what we call this kind of downward spiral of cosmetic surgery.
Wow. Now, speaking about how dangerous it is, Dr. Yoon, we have yours. So let's take a look at Dr. Yoon's own.
Oh, yeah.
Heck.
I look like I'm from the Squid Game show.
Do you like that, or do you feel like that's weird to look at?
I think it's weird. I mean, it's something that I think is fun, and you can put it out there, but unfortunately, with these types of things, there is that small group of people who maybe have real psychiatric conditions like body dysmorphia, and they may use this in a way that is not healthy.
Right. Okay, so we also need to ask you about another surgery that's making headlines, because rapper Cardi B revealed that she had 95% of her butt injections removed.
Merry Christmas.
And says that people should think twice about this type of surgery. I appreciate her saying this, but why is she saying this, and what are the risks with these types of injections?
So this is a huge deal, and I really credit Cardi B in coming forward with this. She supposedly had these injections done in a hotel room of some type of polymer that was injected into her buttocks. This is not legal. It is extremely dangerous, and you can literally die within minutes of somebody injecting something like this into your buttocks. So she is very, very fortunate, and I'm so glad she's sharing her story.
Wow. I had no idea. Dr. Yoon, thank you so much. DBL Nation, be sure to follow Dr. Yoon on social media. You will not regret it. I love his account.
You are the best.
I know. You can check him out at Tony Yoon MD. We'll be right back. Bye, Doc. Bye, Doc.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
On December 13th, President Joe Biden signed the Respect for Marriage Act into law. It requires federal and state governments to recognize all marriages that were legally performed in any state. Some people, including those affiliated with churches, claimed because the law applied to government agencies that it would give the Internal Revenue Service the power to revoke the tax-exempt status of churches that refused to perform same-sex marriages. And a verified viewer on TikTok asked us what the law actually does. So, let's verify. Does the Respect for Marriage Act give the IRS the ability to revoke the tax-exempt status for churches that oppose same-sex marriage? Our sources are the Respect for Marriage Act, a joint statement issued by some of the senators who passed it, the IRS, and Dale Carpenter, a constitutional law expert with Southern Methodist University. The RFMA explicitly says the law can't be used to deny or alter the tax-exempt status or tax treatment of an eligible person or entity. That language was added by a bipartisan group of senators who wanted to ensure that a church's tax-exempt status is unrelated to marriage. The law also specifies it only applies to those acting under the color of state law, which Carpenter says is a legal expression referring to the government or government officials, not private organizations like churches. So, no, the Respect for Marriage Act does not give the IRS the ability to revoke the tax-exempt status for churches that oppose same-sex marriage. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Welcome back. We've got some amazing products from Side Deal today. Check them out.
Steph, I am so excited for what you have for us. Tell us all about it.
Hey, Tori, and hello, DBL Nation. We are so excited to show you the deals today, and trust me, they are both fabulous, so let's check it out.
Excellent.
So, first up, look at this device.
Whoa, dude.
I know, we've got the Home's Whole House Cool Mist Humidifier with antimicrobial protection. So this deal includes one humidifier that will help keep your home comfortable for you and your guests. So it disperses clean, fresh mist in a space up to 2,000 square feet, and the triple layer filter inhibits the growth of mold, mildew, and odor-causing bacteria.
Oh, fabulous.
Now, quantities of this are extremely limited, so you need to act fast before they're gone. Now, normally these are $170, but we've got it for just $69.99, saving everyone 59%.
Can I be honest? I'm shocking myself everywhere I'm going because it's so dry in the air.
Yes,
in the
static
winter.
is a real issue.
Yeah, so for $69.99, you could just have a better season.
So we've also got something perfect for tech lovers. It's the 2-pack Cobalt X adjustable 2-in-1 smartphone tablet stands. So this deal includes 2 stands that are compatible with most cell phones and tablets, and the stand is adjustable with 360-degree rotation. You can clamp this stand on your kitchen counter, on your desk, and guess what? Even on your treadmill.
Oh, that's so smart.
I know, so this is the perfect hands-free accessory, whether you're loving making TikTok videos, taking FaceTime calls, or for virtual exercise classes.
Smart.
Yeah, so normally these are $30 each, but we've got 2 for $16.99, saving 72%.
Okay, so if you're not a TikTok person, whatever, if you're cooking and you want your recipe up and listen to a podcast, both of these, I love this, and it saves you guys some counter space.
You know what I would use this for? I would use this one for, I play piano, and sometimes I've got a few online apps that I download music from.
Smart.
So I could clip this on the edge of my piano.
That's so smart. All right, guys, head on over to sidedeal.com to snag these amazing deals, and again, at the lowest prices for real. You can even visit sidedeal.com right on your smartphone. Steph, the price wizard, as always, thank you so much. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's a tale as old as time. A couple of celebs made some comments they deemed harmless that other people, well, deemed harmful. This week, Megan Fox and Jennifer Lawrence are the A-listers in the hot seat. But, actually, all press is good press, right? Okay, let's start with J-Law. She's become a Hollywood favorite, but she's not some people's favorite after this comment she made on Variety's interview series, Actors on Actors.
When I was doing Hunger Games, nobody had ever put a woman in the lead of an action movie because it wouldn't work. We were told.
People ran to Twitter to share their thoughts on this comment, saying this was so disrespectful to other icons like Linda Hamilton from The Terminator or Pam Grier from Foxy Brown. Yikes! But Jennifer did tell The Hollywood Reporter that she knows she's not the first female lead in an action movie, and that she meant to say that it feels good to be a lead, and that she was just nervous talking to Viola Davis. Now, while her comment definitely did not come off great, I don't think she meant to volunteer herself as the only female lead of an action movie.
I volunteer as tribute.
Megan Fox is also getting a lot of hate online, but in this case, for like a very trivial reason. You know how everyone's posting that AI arted themselves? Like everyone? Well, Megan Fox was no exception. So she posted her AI portraits on Instagram, and people are not happy about it. Why are people pressed over the portraits, you might ask? Because of her caption. Were everyone's avatars equally as sexual? Like, why are most of mine naked? Well, if you follow Megan Fox, you're aware that in most of her posts, she's in very revealing outfits, so it's not surprising that her AI portraits follow suit. So Instagrammers left petty comments on the post saying she is always half naked and she sexualizes herself. But Megan clapped back to one of the commenters saying, I was being sarcastic. How can anyone think I actually lack this level of self-awareness? I just think it's ironic that the people hating on her sexual content are the same people who follow her. I promise it takes less time to hit the unfollow button than to write a comment. But hey, all press is good press, right? We'll be right back.
What could cause the end of these lower gas prices? Let's connect the dots. The cost of a gallon of regular gas has taken a nosedive after peaking at $5 over the summer. That record high came as we were all dealing with decades-high inflation. Now, falling energy prices could continue to help ease consumer inflation. But AAA says there are a couple of bumps in the road ahead. OPEC, an organization of oil-producing nations, is sticking with its plan to cut crude oil production next year. That could limit global supply. Russia could also slash production after Europe's oil embargo and price cap. That could also reduce supplies across the world. And China's harsh COVID lockdowns have kept many of its residents off the roads. As those restrictions are eased and more people in China travel freely, demand may go up, and that could translate to higher prices for all of us. And that is Connecting the Dots.
Welcome back. Before we go, we have to see those AI photos again. So let's see them all. First, the boys.
Listen, I like mine.
You look like Peaky Blinders, like Tommy Shelby.
I like the roughness and the grittiness.
I love it. Yeah, Al looks the same, but you look great. You look the same, though.
Sam, you look like you're in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
I
you
dig
do.
it. Yep.
You have an elfish vibe.
You do. I dig it, and I like the pink. Erica looks bold and warrioress as always.
Tori's in an abusive relationship.
It's awful. I look awful.
This one is bananas.
That one's weird.
Can I be honest, Al? You look like a Q-tip. It's like it's very weird.
Not a good look. I don't get. Is that my AI? It looks like they just took my head off and put on somebody else's
you're
body.
Right.
Jeff looks like a doctor.
Yeah, mine's not good. Yeah.
Oh, those are good.
Yeah.
I look like.
Tori's is growing on me.
I like it. I think I'm an astronaut.
Why do you have a helmet?
I'm an astronaut in the future, I think.
That doesn't look like an astronaut helmet. It looks like the helmet in that one old diving movie with Cuba Gooding Jr.
Men of Honor. How did
you mean
I
the
know
old
that?
ones? Like
Someone said yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Can I get some props for knowing that?
Good, that was a good one.
I don't know. I've never even seen the movie.
And by the way, that looks nothing like that scuba helmet.
Absolutely not.
I was going to take mine and put it into a voiceover because I always wanted to be a cartoon character.
Ooh, you did good.
Yeah, like
Give
what
us
are
a
those?
voice.
All right, TBL's new every day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Mine would be
same
like,
time, same place.
help.
I'm drunk.
Where hope finds help. Where courage meets conviction. Where makers make fans. We are Tegna, a family of local and national media brands that bring us together, serving the greater good of our communities. Where national know-how backs local business. Be in good company with Tegna.
season's greetings from me to you. Be healthy, be happy, and most importantly, be kind to yourself.
I want to wish you all a very healthy and joyous holiday season.
We want to extend all the blessings and joy from our family to you.
From our family here at DBL to yours, we want to wish you a happy holiday season.
All of the love, all the prosperity, all of the joy, because you deserve it.
Here's what we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
The death of DJ Steven Twitch Boss shocks fans as he's remembered for his time on Ellen. What we know so far about what happened. Jay Leno talks for the first time about his terrifying accident.
The pilot light jumped and my face caught on fire.
Plus, the avatar selfie trend has some people wanting to get these looks in real life. Dr. Yoon is here live to give us his take on using filters as inspiration for plastic surgery. And our interview with the fabulous Vivica A. Fox.
Why you starting off the interview getting Chuck?
Oh my gosh.
Get real.
No. Y'all, just stop.
This is a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. We begin today with some very sad news. Steven Twitch Boss, who was Ellen's DJ on her talk show, has passed away. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner said he died in a hotel yesterday. And the Today Show and other news outlets are reporting that it was by suicide. He was just 40 years old. Twitch was best known, of course, as Ellen's DJ and for his love, his happiness, his dancing. He joined the show in 2014. He was promoted to co-executive producer in 2020 and stood by Ellen after her show was accused of being a toxic workplace. He and his wife Allison gained millions of followers on TikTok, showing off their dance moves and would sometimes get their 3 kids involved. Now, in a statement, his wife said, quote, Steven lit up every room he stepped into. He valued family, friends, and community above all else, and leading with love and light was everything to him. He was the backbone of our family, the best husband and father, and inspiration to his fans. And in fact, Ellen just recently tweeted her thoughts. She wrote, I'm heartbroken. Twitch was pure love and light. He was my family, and I loved him with all my heart. I will miss him. Please send your love and support to Allison and his beautiful children, Wesley, Maddox, and Zaya. Wow, right before the holidays. You know, Tori, you talk very openly, we all do, about our struggles with mental illness, and you just never know. It does not discriminate. You never know if someone's suffering, no matter how happy they seem to be.
I saw, excuse me, it's check on your happy friends. That's what I saw on Instagram, social media today. Check on the ones that you think are doing okay. From all accounts, Twitch had the perfect life. He was happy. His wife, I've been following him since So You Think You Can Dance. So is Allison, his wife, a contestant. Yeah. They are, when you dance, you exude joy, and that's all he did, was just exude joy. So when this happened, I think all of us are really in shock right now because it seems like the opposite of someone who's depressed. So please remember this phrase, check on your happy friends, because it hits indiscriminately and people can put on a face, because I did it for a long time. I'm so saddened by this for their family, for the holidays. Every holiday they're going to remember this moment. So I'm just really shocked, really
I was
shocked.
gonna say, Jeff, you said that this hit you harder than you thought it would.
Yeah.
Like, what did you mean by that? You said that right before the show started.
Well, yeah, because I was talking to my wife this morning, and they celebrated their 9-year anniversary 4 days ago. And on Instagram, it's all good, right? And that's why I always talk about Instagram and all that. But I want to talk about Twitch because I know I'm not a dancer. I'm not maybe nothing like Twitch, but I see a little piece of me in him. When Anthony Bourdain died, it really affected me. And this is the same way. He's a family man, and I can't imagine myself doing something like that. But over the years that, you know, we talk about this very openly about our struggles and other people's struggles, and I was like, why would you do that to your family? There's a mental disorder within yourself that makes you do something like that. And I realize that now. We're going to put numbers on the screen after, but there is help out there. He didn't leave his kids. He needed to do something that his mind told him. I went through that when my wife had postpartum, and I didn't understand it, and it helped me realize it. So for some reason, I felt like a little piece of me was with Twitch today. Like I could do something like that. And it really bothered me seeing, you know, those. It just bothered me.
Can we have some Kleenex up here?
Yeah.
You know, Sam.
Erica, I want to give Erica a moment. You're crying.
No, it's very weird because I was thinking about my girlfriend who unfortunately took her life 2 years ago around this time, almost a few years to the date. And I appreciate what you're saying about just the idea of you've changed your mind or you've understood more based on your own experiences, because there was certainly a time that I felt like suicide is like the most selfish thing you can do. And I repeated that even when my friend passed away because I was so angry. Like I was so angry in the beginning before I even got to sadness. I just think it's really important, especially during this time of the year, that we are really aware that this is a very tough time for a lot of people. And so I also think that it's our responsibility to send our condolences out to so many of you, because we understand that before you had us at this particular time on your particular network, you had him and you saw him every day. And we want to acknowledge that you are grieving at home, because when you allow any of us to come into your homes every day at the same time, it is such a privilege that we are spending time with you, and we know how you feel about us. So I am sorry for your loss today as well.
That was beautifully stated, Erica. We do have some numbers, as Jeff pointed out, on our screen for any of you that may want to reach out for help. Please take a screen grab of it, take a look. You are not alone. Every single one of us up here have been in pretty dark, deep holes, and you can crawl out of it. Help does work. Treatment works. Our thoughts and prayers with Twitch's family. All right, we're going to move on to another topic that a lot of you are talking about. Megan Thee Stallion took the stand yesterday in Los Angeles, and here she is on her way into court. She was testifying in a case against fellow rapper Tory Lanez for allegedly shooting her in the feet in 2020 after a party in the Hollywood Hills. She told the jury that Lanez shot her after yelling at her to, quote unquote, dance bleep. Megan said she's still dealing with nerve pain along with the fallout from the incident. She said Lanez offered her $1 million not to tell the police what happened. And at one point, Megan was in tears, saying she wished he had killed her had she known about all the backlash she would get from the music industry and from folks on social media. Lanez has pleaded not guilty to the felony charges against him. He faces more than 22 years in prison. And just to give our audience more context, and Erica, you spoke about this months ago when we brought up the entire situation, is so many people started to victim blame her, said that she was doing it for attention or she was making it up. Why, Erica, in your opinion?
Because the most disrespected person on this planet is the black woman, and it's a shame when people who look like you make that your reality. I mean, this was a great opportunity, especially at the moment that it happened, when we were yelling from the rooftops to protect black women, to actually put action behind that. But instead, people who look like her and people who don't have decided to re-victimize her when we know no one is disputing that she was shot. We have decided to make a mockery out of her personal life and put on trial the intimacy of what possibly happened or did not happen in her bedroom. Where else do we do this at for someone who has been shot multiple times? At the, precipice of the height of her career. She did not need this type of attention. And for anyone to insinuate that she is doing this for attention, or she's doing it for nefarious purposes, that she's doing it for any reason other than justice, really needs a reality check. And you also need to look your daughters in the eyes, look your nieces in the eyes, your mama, your auntie, your grandmother, and acknowledge to them that the things that you are saying about this woman who was a victim of a violent act are going to be applied in their minds too. So just know that when you're saying this, Megan's probably not going to hear you, but your daughter will.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just seeing her walk into court. I'm so happy because when we covered this case, I was like, I don't think we've ever talked about an A-list celebrity that was shot multiple times, and it was so opaque in terms of what was happening around her. And I'm really happy that she's going to get her day in court, because the first thing that really hit me, and Erica, you really touched on it, was people were saying she did this for attention. I'm like, here's how I know you're famous. My mom knows who you are. Yeah. My mom knows who Megan Thee Stallion is. You don't need any more publicity after that. She has crossed over gender, socioeconomic, age. Everybody knows who she is. So the fact that she would do this for like she's some TikToker trying to get a publicity stunt is ridiculous. So I'm glad we're going to hear this in court under oath, and we can just get this out and get this done with, and justice can be served however it is.
I certainly hope it does. We'll be right back.
It's happy holiday season time.
From our DBL family to yours, we want to wish you
a happy holiday season.
A happy holiday season.
We're live.
So I was just, we were just speaking about what Erica had said regarding the audience, who is now our audience, because we moved time slots. We now have Ellen's time slot in most of the cities, or a number of the cities here. And it's something I never connected. I mean, I thought of Twitch, of how I knew Twitch. I had met him through a friend of mine, Tammy, who dances, and I barely met him, but I just looked within. For Erica to think about our audience, who probably has spent so many hours cumulatively watching him and feeling like they knew him.
I didn't even think about it. I know.
And console him, I thought was really powerful.
I can't believe I didn't even think about
Me
it.
neither.
This might be like a weird side tangent, but I thought about this because my friend said this a long time ago about being a gun owner. And he said the one thing about being a gun owner is obviously being responsible in how you use it and how you care for it and who has access to it, but also there's going to be a time in everybody's life where like you're going to have a thought to use it on yourself. And this is one of the things that people don't discuss with guns is my friend comedian Jack Knight, who passed away. He took his own life with a gun 4 months ago. And it's it's just, I think if you don't have access, maybe it gives you that one day to sleep on it. Maybe you just have one friend time to get there to you, but the gun is so instant.
It's there.
That it's just there. And
if
it's
you act
instant,
on that impulse.
like a trap door almost,
Yep. That is so well said.
And
unfortunately.
it's terrible because we think about guns towards other people or guns when the kids find them, but you don't think about just like you.
Suicide.
Like, just like everybody has a bad day, a bad month, a bad 5 years, then they're like, this is it, and
You're giving me chills.
yeah, it's
We're not playing jump rope. We're talking about a camera.
Very decorated in the studio. We like that little shot of the wreath. Okay, so welcome back. We're going to talk about something that we have not talked about in a while. Yes, masks. I know it's a hot button issue. While health officials across the country are urging Americans to put their masks back on between COVID, the flu, and other respiratory diseases that are spiking right now, they say masking up is the best way to keep you and your family healthy. Here's what Dr. Fauci said about it yesterday.
We're getting cold weather. We're getting an uptick in cases, and we have the holiday season where people are congregating indoors. I hope is a call to people to realize how important it is to do that, to get vaccinated, to be careful, wear a mask where appropriate in indoor settings.
So DBL Nation, we need to hear from you. Will you be masking up this holiday season? Go to dblvote.com to weigh in. Tori, I just want to read you this statistic in regard to Americans and masking. So during the first 2 years of COVID, between 50% and 80% of Americans wore the mask, seeing the data and knowing how it protected against COVID and other respiratory diseases. As of September, only around 29% have been wearing masks outside of their homes. Two-part question. Why do you think that is? And do you think people are going to listen to Fauci now that he's been so politicized?
No, I think there is a lot of heat around Fauci. They should. He's saved millions of lives by this, but I think there is a lot of political talk here. I have to say this. In other countries, masks are very normal. They're normalized. And Americans, when we get bored of something, we move on really, really quickly. We've moved on from masks, apparently. It's not over, but we've moved on. We need to somehow normalize it, like in other Asian cultures, in places in which people in the studio are still wearing masks. That needs to be something you have in your car. That needs to be something you wear in the airport. This is part of our helping a society as one. That's what you have to do. You got to put in a little work, wear a cloth, and protect it. Because at this point, Americans who move on, we're done, and it's going to come right back. So I say you need to
I was going to say, I love what you said about normalizing. And Jeff, you talk about being in Japan and different parts of Asia. And like that's what I noticed when I was over there is everybody has a mask on
Very
in the
normal.
airport. Like everybody does. And this was, I went to do my USO tours in 2018 and 2016. So it was very normalized. It didn't, and I felt like I stood out over there not having one on. So I was in North Carolina doing shows this weekend. Shout out to Charlotte. Great time there. And honestly, I would say in the showroom, there were probably 25% of the people wearing masks and 25% of the staff wearing masks, which never happened pre-COVID. So maybe this is kind of where we are now.
Yeah, I just got back from Chicago, and about 25% of people on a plane were wearing a mask. I would say, listen, if people don't want to wear it, they're not going to wear it. Right. I mean, at this point, we're already over it. But if I was not feeling great or something, I'm going to be honest, I don't think I'd wear it at Christmas with my family. But if I was not feeling great while I was traveling, I'd wear a mask to protect others.
There you go.
Because I don't want to be selfish.
There you
go.
go.
I mean, people are going to do what they want to do, and that's probably the end of it.
And talk to your doctor. If you don't trust Fauci, please talk to your doctor.
Or me.
46% say yes, you will be wearing a mask. 53% of you say no. All right, coming up on DBL, we talk with Vivica A. Fox all about her new project, A New Divas Christmas Carol. Stay tuned.
On December 13th, President Joe Biden signed the Respect for Marriage Act into law. It requires federal and state governments to recognize all marriages that were legally performed in any state. Some people, including those affiliated with churches, claimed because the law applied to government agencies that it would give the Internal Revenue Service the power to revoke the tax-exempt status of churches that refused to perform same-sex marriages. And a Verify viewer on TikTok asked us what the law actually does. So, let's verify. Does the Respect for Marriage Act give the IRS the ability to revoke the tax-exempt status for churches that oppose same-sex marriage? Our sources are the Respect for Marriage Act, a joint statement issued by some of the senators who passed it, the IRS, and Dale Carpenter, a constitutional law expert with Southern Methodist University. The RFMA explicitly says the law can't be used to deny or alter the tax-exempt status or tax treatment of an eligible person or entity. That language was added by a bipartisan group of senators who wanted to ensure that a church's tax-exempt status is unrelated to marriage. The law also specifies it only applies to those acting under the color of state law, which Carpenter says is a legal expression referring to the government or government officials, not private organizations like churches. So, no, the Respect for Marriage Act does not give the IRS the ability to revoke the tax-exempt status for churches that oppose same-sex marriage. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Darling, if we wanted to kill you, we would have done that already.
What she means is, hi, we're just 3 regular old spirits who've been assigned to you to make your life better. Aren't you lucky?
Welcome back to DBL. That was A Diva's Christmas Carol, and Vivica A. Fox is slaying in her latest film. Earlier, we caught up with her. Take a look.
Okay, so the stars in A New Diva's Christmas Carol include Ashanti, Robin Givens, Eva Marcel, and Spice Girl Mel B. So who is the biggest diva in the movie?
Why are you starting off the interview giving me trouble?
I'm giving you some Christmas drama. I want my lump of coal.
Okay. If I had to pick, I'd say Ashanti, just because she was doing this film. No, listen, she was doing our film, and then she was also touring. She had interviews. She had a lot going on, but she really delivered for us and played the role of Aphrodite wonderful. And she contributed to the soundtrack. So the fact that you're going to get to hear her sing, she has the voice of an angel. I honestly did not know she was that good of a singer.
Wow. Okay, so that's the biggest diva in real life. Now, what about the biggest diva as character-wise in the movie?
Ashanti.
It's still Ashanti.
She was giving everybody the blues, and we had to pull her choke chain and say, now come on back and enjoy love and Christmas.
I just want to ask you, was there a moment on set, because, you know, there's a certain chemistry on set, but was there a moment where you really felt the spirit of Christmas, like on set, like you were like, oh, these are my people?
To be honest with you, every day.
Yeah.
Because we had a lot of work to do. We just finished this film in August. So we all had to come in, be focused. We ran lines with each other. We made suggestions to the director. It was really a collaborative effort. The special effects were added later, but for the director to help us understand where we were, because we went through her past, present, and then took her to her future. So we would be like, okay, now where are we at today, and where are we about to escape to? Because my character took us through the time travel thing with this when that happened. So I would say every day we really work together as a wonderful team to create movie magic, and more importantly, Christmas magic.
I love that. A good ensemble.
Yeah.
All right, so in real life, who will you be spending the holidays with this year? I sound like a creeper.
You really
Where
do.
will you find you?
Yes.
Yes. When you hear about my Christmas ritual, you're going to be like, okay, V, I might want to join you. I start off the day having breakfast with my godson, Christian, and his family. Then I go to the Beverly Hot Springs, soak in the waters, have a good massage. Then I go to my business partner, Lita Richardson, and we binge watch all the NBA games and have lunch. And then I finish out the night with a Uno tournament and fish fry with my boy, Darren Bond.
Oh my gosh, that's the coolest night ever.
It's a full day, I told you.
An Uno tournament?
I just,
she topped it with a
any
cherry.
one of those things would have been my favorite. You had me at NBA binge watch, and I was like, you could have stopped talking, but then you went to Uno tournament. That's my thing.
I'm like, I go to my grandma's house.
Yes. There's nothing like somebody with a draw four on Christmas. Like, yeah, go ahead and get in there.
Good call.
Yeah.
Exactly. Bam. And I, you know, pop it on you.
You're done.
That's what's up. Now, you know, obviously you have a full Christmas day. I'm going to speak for the men, and I'm going to speak for myself. I dropped the ball on a few Christmases. So a few Christmas gifts I should have consulted with some friends. What is the worst Christmas gift that you've ever gotten from a man?
Nothing.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's real. There's no
nothing.
skipping Christmas.
Like, really? You just think your presence is the gift? Really?
Yeah, it's weird because I'm sure you had one for him.
I am a great gift giver. I really am. I love birthdays and I love Christmas. So, you know, it was kind of chintzy. He got kicked to the curb.
Yeah, well, so let's go back to divas. So you ran into housewife Kenya Moore since your epic showdown on Celebrity Apprentice, but it went well, right? So tell us that story.
Well, that was really, I mean, you know, I'm not a mean girl whatsoever, but she really tried me on Celebrity Apprentice, taking my phone. You know, she hasn't officially confessed to that.
Yeah.
But honestly, it was her little girl. We were in Crustacean's restaurant in Beverly Hills, and her little girl just walked over to me, and I was like, hi, baby. And and Kenya walked over and was like, hey, girl. And I was like, come on, let's go on and drop this. I mean, we're both adults. And daughter's beautiful. It's good to see you in a new chapter as a mom. and we squashed it.
Wow, what an adult thing to do. The power of a little child too, right?
Right, and I think kids soften you a little bit. I just had a baby a year ago, and so it helps me like, okay, am I really mad or, am I not?
Absolutely.
Congratulations on your new baby.
Thank you so much, Vivica. I appreciate that.
Kinsley's the best. Thank you so much for joining us, Vivica. DBL Nation, A New Divas Christmas Carol premieres tonight on VH1. Again, so lovely to chat with you.
Come back soon.
That's true. We'll be right back.
Happy blessed holidays, darlings. And here's your fabulous 2023.
That's right. And you, and to you.
Billions of emails are sent every day, and as we all probably see in our inboxes, many of them are marketing promotions. Verify viewer Linda says her inbox is full of them. She texted our team to ask if a business can sell her email address after she unsubscribed from its mailing list. So Linda, let's verify. Our sources are the Canned Spam Act, the Federal Trade Commission, and Andrew Sternke, Chief Executive Officer and Private Investigator at Juris Disputes and Investigations. A 2003 federal law called the Canned Spam Act sets the rules for businesses that send commercial marketing emails. It requires companies to do two things: identify these emails as advertising and tell you how to opt out of receiving future emails from that company. According to the Canned Spam Act and the FTC, once you submit an opt-out request, businesses must remove you from their mailing list within 10 days, and they can no longer sell or transfer your email address. The FTC says there's one exception. Companies can transfer emails on its mailing list to a company that it's hired to help them comply with the Canned Spam Act. If companies don't follow the rules, they can face hefty fines. So Linda, we can verify, no. Businesses are not legally allowed to sell your email address after you unsubscribe from their mailing list. According to cybersecurity expert Andrew Sternke, the removal of emails from a mailing list is a self-regulated process that comes with some issues.
There's nothing saying that they didn't already sell your information, your email, prior to you opting out. They just can't do it once you opt out.
With your Verify, I'm Adiante Till. Poinsettias are one of the most popular holiday plants. Their colorful leaves can range from a creamy white to a bright red. For years, people have claimed that the plant is lethal to cats and dogs. Recent online search trends show people are wondering about that claim as they start decorating for the holidays. So let's verify. Are poinsettias deadly to pets? Our sources are the ASPCA, the American Kennel Club, and the Pet Poison Helpline. Snap open a leaf of the plant and its milky white sap will ooze out. The chemicals in the sap are similar to those found in detergents. If cats and dogs consume them, they may experience gastrointestinal irritation, such as nausea, vomiting, drooling, or sometimes diarrhea. Contact with the sap can also cause skin irritation, including redness, swelling, and itchiness. But all three of our sources agree that chemicals found in the plant's sap are only mildly toxic to pets, not fatal. The Pet Poison Helpline website says claims about pet poisoning from the plant's sap are greatly exaggerated. So we can verify, no, poinsettias are not deadly to pets. But consuming the sap and the plant's leaves in general is still not good for them. So to be safe, the American Kennel Club recommends keeping poinsettias out of your pet's reach during the holiday season. The ASPCA says holly and mistletoe, which can cause gastrointestinal irritation as well as cardiovascular problems when ingested, should also be kept out of your pet's reach. With your Verify, I'm Adiante Till.
Welcome back. We got a comment for Al. Melissa says, in regards to Vivica, it looked like Al wanted to get on Vivica's Christmas plans.
Wow. I was just trying to talk to a fellow entertainer about, expanding because she's so good at time management. I want to see how she does it. She does everything.
Did you DM her and thank her?
I'm trying to get me in trouble.
Leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online. Watch on YouTube, dailyblastlive.com, or our app. But if you get the second half of the show where you are, here is what's ahead. The AI avatar trend makes its way into plastic surgery offices. Dr. Yoon will be here live to tell us what the craze is all about. And Jay Leno does his first interview since his terrifying accident. What he says happened in the moments leading up to getting badly burned.
Hospitals need blood to perform surgery and treat trauma patients. In January, the American Red Cross declared a crisis due to the worst blood shortage in over a decade. But are outbreaks of the flu and RSV making it worse? Let's verify. Our sources are the American Red Cross and Blood Assurance, a nonprofit that serves healthcare facilities in Georgia and 4 other states. Nationwide, hospitalizations for the flu are at the highest level in over a decade, while emergency room visits due to RSV, or respiratory syncytial virus, are elevated. Blood Assurance reports that some donation drives have been canceled because too many people called out sick. In a statement, the CEO of Blood Assurance said it's quite alarming because it's not even winter yet. Evan Peterson of the American Red Cross adds anyone feeling sick should not donate blood.
We do a health screening before anyone is able to donate, just to make sure that, hey, the day up when we're about to take this blood, is your blood where we need it to be? And unfortunately, some people do just get disqualified as a result of that.
Both organizations are offering a variety of incentives to healthy people willing to donate in December. Peterson says the Red Cross gets a lot of questions from people wondering if it's okay to donate if you're recently vaccinated.
If you have a COVID vaccine or booster, or you have your flu shot vaccine or booster, that does not disqualify you from donating.
So we can verify the recent viral outbreaks have impacted our nation's blood supply, leading organizations to encourage people to get vaccinated to stay well and donate.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Get real.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
This is a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll. Welcome to DBL. So Jay Leno is speaking out about the garage fire that left him with burns on his face, chest, and hands. He spoke to Hoda Kotb on the Today Show about how it happened. Watch.
It was a 1907 white steam car. So the fuel line was clogged. So I was underneath it trying to clog it. And I said, blow some air through the line. Let's see if we can clear. And then a line, and then boom, and suddenly, boom, I got a face full of gas. And then the pilot light jumped and my face caught on fire. And I said to my friend, I said, Dave, I'm on fire. And Dave was like, okay. I said, no, Dave, I'm on fire.
Wow. Jay also revealed photos of his burns while at the burn center where he was treated for 10 days. Now, Jay joked that he wasn't worried about what he would look like after because he's not, quote unquote, George Clooney. I admire that attitude. I do. Or do you think that's him trying to hide behind hide his hurt with his humor, Jeff?
I think a lot. I mean, he's a comedian, right? So I think he does that naturally, but I think we all do that in some sort of way. But for having gasoline burn on your face, I think he looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Right? And I think he's lucky that he got away with what he got away with. But having that positive attitude about things, accidents happen. He loves what he does. I'm sure he's going to go right back to fixing cars. So good on Jay.
It's just weird that, like, I've known someone who got really badly burned where you have the skin grafts. What you didn't see is just how drastically painful it is. It goes into the muscle fibers of your being. And so it's just, Jay has a very strong character. I mean, that is, you are 10 out of 10 in pain. Burn victims have a very, very, very difficult time. So good on him for keeping up such a high spirit.
But yeah, I feel like he, you know, and I said this when we initially covered the story, he has like one kind of bow in his quiver, and that's that he is a comic.
Yeah.
So he can fight back with this, because usually you kind of, most people internalize things and like, how are people going to look at me? But as a comic, you've been on stage your whole life. You're used to people looking at you. And also, if you look at a lot of comedians, Josh Blue, he's got MS, I believe, and he's one of the most famous comic. The friend of mine, of course, is his name escapes me. He's on America's Got Talent. He got hit in the throat with a softball when he was a kid. It destroyed his vocal cords, and he made it far on America's Got Talent because he incorporated that into his act. So I'm expecting, as soon as I saw that, every comic was like, oh, you got a new hour. Like, it's so weird.
It's going to be called I'm on Fire.
Yes, exactly. So, you know, take the negative and make a positive. So I'm expecting big things from Jake.
All right. Okay, so Drake, you guys, is getting roasted over a piece of jewelry. The rapper commissioned a necklace by jewelry designer Alex Moss that was inspired by his past lovers. The piece, called Previous Engagements, is made up of 42 diamonds that represent the 42 times Drake got close to proposing. Ugh. The necklace took 14 months to complete.
Just so dumb.
And is worth an estimated $4 million. But some people online called out Drake for this strange gesture. Some called it embarrassing. Others said it was corny. Tori, you blurted out it's dumb.
That's like 42 times you were going to get married. 42. Can you know we are at 30? You still got 12 more. 42? What are you? Some kind of
Tori, how many people
addict addict?
Tori, how many people do you think you've met where you were like, I could have potentially married this?
Two.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
And then I realized that definitely one. But like, you don't, I mean, over 5, I feel like is a lot. Did anyone find this like cringy?
I think we're expecting that because after his last album where he was calling out happily married women that he once connected with and have moved on with their lives, we were anticipating that the next album would just be called Therapy Session because I believe that that's the next stop for him.
Yeah, like what's going on with Drake?
I mean, it's just I feel kind of bad for him. Like he seems hurt. Like he really does. He seems like really hurt. I mean, like his.
So you buy the diamond?
Like like it was
cover a bunch of like different babies. Remember, he had a bunch of.
I don't know. It was something before. I think I've realized that I've gotten older than the demographic that he's going for because I'm like, baby, honey,
something's wrong.
Just get a little therapy. We'd love to hear about that. Drake, your next album, just Therapy Session, 1.0, 2.0 until it's done. We could use that in the community. Absolutely.
It's just funny that he puts it on blast. You know, because there's a lot of people that love very hard, right? Or they're a love addict or a sex addict, whatever it may be. But the fact that he's like, I'm going to get a necklace with all 42 possible proposals, why do you think he put it on blast like that?
That he remembered 42.
Yeah, dude. 1, 2.
Yeah. Well, then there was Karen and
don't forget Kiki.
And you were looking at him in the eyes. It might be 43 after you watch this segment, Erica.
All right, so we got to talk about Jennifer Aniston, too, because she hosted an exclusive party full of her A-list friends. But, of course, the party reportedly happened at her home in Bel Air and included stars like Sandra Bullock, Courtney Cox, and Lisa Kudrow, plus Tobey Maguire, Jason Bateman, and Bradley Cooper. Just so we're clear, these pics are not from the party because, according to Page 6, it was a no cell phone event.
Awesome.
Not as a rule, just so nobody posted anything on social media. Erica, you said awesome.
I love that. I love that. I've been doing more no cell phone events because people, especially when you're serving alcohol, then people's boundaries start to slide a little bit more. Then all of a sudden you wake up the next morning and something you never would have posted on a story, like even if it's not even as that big of a deal, like you're just swearing and you never
just
post
not a good look.
Yeah, something that wouldn't be something you would normally do, and now someone has posted you all over their social media. Like I've gotten to the point where I just tell people, like, we have a professional photographer here.
Yeah.
You don't actually even need to take any photos. If you want certain photos, you can get a great photo with this person as opposed to on your phone with bad lighting. That way you don't have to worry about, somebody posting something that they shouldn't.
Or here's another weird option. You could just enjoy the evening. Yeah. You could just enjoy the evening without trying to capture it in real time. Are you going to go back and be like, wow, remember that time me and Erica were sitting on the couch? I would rather remember the conversation that we had on that couch. I get that people live online and posting your life is a big deal. I get all that, Sam. But I do think that like things are missed when people are constantly taking pictures. It throws the rhythm of conversations off. It makes people, hey, stop talking to Jeff real quick. Let's get a picture. You guys start talking again. Well, it just throws the rhythm of the night off.
You're just not in the present moment, ever. You're just never in the. If the goal in life is to live every moment in the present moment, you couldn't be farther from that. And the energy passes on to everybody. You're absolutely right. Oh, picture this. Well, I'm not going to talk to you then. And you just have to work on that because it's very easy to do.
Oof. I think it gets a bad rap, though, and I agree with all of you, but it gets a bad rap because we always hear it with like celebrities, right? Because they don't want certain things to get out. I think this is actually quite relatable, again, for what the reasons you all stated, to be present, boundaries, whether you have $1 million or no money in your checking account. I think what all of us can fall victim to, what Erica said, is the fact that you get a couple drinks in ya, the next morning you look at your phone and you regret some of those decisions.
How many teachers have we seen fired
There you
for
go.
things that they were doing at a holiday party and things that no one would have ever known about? It's like...
Would you do this?
No way. No.
No, you wouldn't say no cell phones?
Oh, I would, for
you
sure.
Would. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, even we've been out. You have like a drink, and I have 2 drinks. I'm like, I'm going home. You know what I mean? Because, and then I go with people I trust. Because listen, we're kind of buttoned up here, but you know what I mean. I like to let loose when I get around my family and friends and do my thing. I don't want to see that the next day. You know what I mean? You're not in the trust tree, circle of trust.
That's right.
Trust tree.
Best advice I ever heard. I know we got to run. Never take a drink.
Wait, right when I said that, this is it.
I just discovered my secret.
I know. Right when it came out, I'm like, oh my God! I said that in her notes.
No way.
Dang.
Yes.
And you gave me that look, and I was like, I can't believe I said trust me.
Okay, we have a secret Santa. I'm going to pull back the curtain because we tell you guys everything.
Oh my God.
So we do a secret Santa here at DBL, and you're supposed to give 3 clues. I got a clue today saying in so many words, like you're going to get a great gift, you're in the trust tree or something like that. I was like, trust tree? That's an interesting word.
I know. Right when it came out, I looked at you and your eyes got big, and I was like, damn. All right, we got to go.
DBL, that's the AI selfie trend online. Well, we're going to see how we look with a digital makeover. And Dr. Yoon will be here live to talk about how people are trying to look like their AI photo in real life. This is Daily Blast Live. We have fiery debate. That's not true. Can I finish? We tell heartfelt stories. We're so emotional over here. We talk to the stars.
Turn up the notch on that. Great research.
DBL is all new every day.
So, what is a trust tree?
It rhymes with 3, so I said trust tree.
I like trust tree. I'm going to use that from now on.
I do. Branches.
Sam's
going to set it up, and she's going to talk to your guys' avatar. This is a short conversation.
Go for it. You can go in. Yeah, I love the trust tree.
And she's going to say, what do you guys think? We do have to get to Dr. Yoon, so don't go too far into this. What you think of your AIs, okay? So the questions are going to be, Jeff, you are first. Dr. Yoon, here's my avatar. What do you think?
And this is when we're revealing it. We're not going to see him first?
Seen it. You're
okay,
seeing
we
it
already
first.
saw
You've already seen him. What if I bring this into you? What are you going to do for me? That kind of thing. And then the follow-up is, what is the danger of somebody wanting to look like their avatar? Al, you have question 2. Is it ever safe to use a filter as inspiration to get plastic surgery? And then Tori, you have the 3rd question. Dr. Yoon, we have your avatar as well.
Oh,
Let's take a look.
Can't wait.
He hasn't seen it, so have him respond to that. That's just fun. If we have time, Erica, we're then going to get into Cardi B removing her butt injections and why this was a bad thing to do in the first place. And he's going to talk about that. If we have time, Sam, you have the last question. What's the difference between butt injections and a Brazilian butt lift?
Okay, great.
And then we toss to him, and that's it.
So I just want to keep talking about this because not only did I hear a word that I never heard before called trust tree, but then as soon as he said it, his tell was he looked at me and his eyes like gleamed.
Because, first of all, trust tree, it rhymes with 3. So I was writing like a poem about it. Because we're supposed to write 3 notes. It says, don't expect 3. That's what I meant by that. But then when I go trust tree.
That was you right by that.
I would have been like, oh, just get out of here. Don't take 3.
So yeah, and then when I said circle of trust, I looked at Sam to see if she caught it.
Oh
and she
man,
did.
that's so funny.
Welcome back. What does your AI self look like? If you've been wondering, you're not alone. The magic avatar trend is the latest thing sweeping across social media. Take a look.
Trying the AI avatar trend. So the app is actually called Lensa AI. You upload various selfies, and then it spits out different avatars of you. Let's see what... None of us have done this, right?
No.
Okay, so our producers took photos. We're going to see what our avatars look like. Okay, these are the ones that look the most like us. Let's look at the boys first.
Whoa.
Dude.
Dude, Jeff, you look like good.
I look like I.
You look depressed.
I look like I'm.
Jeff looks
I look like I'm about to smoke a ciggy in a depressing bar.
Motorcycle. Yeah, I
Not like Al, though. You looked super sad. That looked like Al. Let's look at the girls. These are the ones that look like us.
Oh.
Oh my God, Erica.
Erica.
Whoa.
Tori.
Oh, I like my pink hair.
I like Sam's. I like
I
Tori's.
want my pink hair.
I just want to go on record that. What's wrong with my face?
No, your avatar looks like it's going to a nightclub.
Wait, we have more. We have more.
Like it went. No, like it went to a nightclub.
These are the ones that don't look like the boys. These are the ones that don't look like the boys.
Okay.
Oh. Is that a different body on me? It looks like Jeff is my doctor.
All right, these are the girls. These are the girls that don't look like us. They do not. Tori.
No, now
that looks more like you than the other one.
Good, because
Erica's so
wow,
light.
Erica's stunning. Oh, Sam, look at you.
No, this is weird. Why am I so light?
Yeah, that is a problem. People have brought that up. I'm glad you're talking about that.
I'm an NW 4445, aren't I, Jeray?
No, I'm glad you brought that up. I have a girlfriend that is dark-skinned, and she wrote a whole thing on Facebook bringing attention to that her avatar definitely doesn't look like her because of the skin color, and also her nose was narrow, and that really bothered her, rightfully so.
But my nose was right, and it's always been like that. See, my nose is full.
That's good.
Good.
Like a
Good.
Cabbage
That's
Patch
her.
Kid.
Okay, so with so many people doing this trend, plastic surgeons are now speaking out about the number of people coming into their office to achieve this look. But is that even realistic? So to help us
Tori's
break it all
helmet's
down,
realistic.
please welcome our favorite holistic plastic surgeon, Dr. Yoon, back to the show. Yay!
Hey, Doc.
Thank you. Let's get right to it, okay? So, what do you think listen, what's happening here? Do I need to duplicate this look, and what should I bring to get it done by you? Do you advise me?
So you can come into my office
and bring this to a doctor?
Yeah, you can come into my office and ask for it, but I can't necessarily give it to you. So ask all you want. I mean, really, when you look at these, it's like they painted a portrait of you, and like paintings from long ago, it's not necessarily all that realistic.
Yeah, of course. What specifically is dangerous, this is so silly, about wanting to achieve these avatars?
Well, the issue is that if you use this as a guide and you say, hey, I kind of like how my skin looks here, then you can use it as a realistic guide. But the fact is there's so many people who would look at something like this and not realize that it is not achievable. And you can undergo procedure after procedure after procedure to try to gain an appearance that just is never going to be achievable in the first place.
All right, Doc, we got to talk about filters and if dating sites could survive without them. Now, people are, bringing in filtered photos as inspiration for plastic surgery. Is that a good idea? Because it does show you kind of the best case scenario of your face. So does that work?
So I think that, once again, you got to be realistic. If you use a filtered photograph as a way to say, I kind of like how my skin looks here. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to clean up my diet. I'm going to use good skincare. I'm going to wear my SPF every day. Then it actually can be a very positive thing. But unfortunately, so many people use it as kind of this guide to look in a way that's almost dysmorphic. And you can undergo procedures that can actually end up making you look worse. And it can be what we call this kind of downward spiral of cosmetic surgery.
Wow. Now, speaking about how dangerous it is, Dr. Yoon, we have yours. So let's take a look at Dr. Yoon's own.
Oh, yeah.
Heck.
I look like I'm from the Squid Game show.
Do you like that, or do you feel like that's weird to look at?
I think it's weird. I mean, it's something that I think is fun, and you can put it out there, but unfortunately, with these types of things, there is that small group of people who maybe have real psychiatric conditions like body dysmorphia, and they may use this in a way that is not healthy.
Right. Okay, so we also need to ask you about another surgery that's making headlines, because rapper Cardi B revealed that she had 95% of her butt injections removed.
Merry Christmas.
And says that people should think twice about this type of surgery. I appreciate her saying this, but why is she saying this, and what are the risks with these types of injections?
So this is a huge deal, and I really credit Cardi B in coming forward with this. She supposedly had these injections done in a hotel room of some type of polymer that was injected into her buttocks. This is not legal. It is extremely dangerous, and you can literally die within minutes of somebody injecting something like this into your buttocks. So she is very, very fortunate, and I'm so glad she's sharing her story.
Wow. I had no idea. Dr. Yoon, thank you so much. DBL Nation, be sure to follow Dr. Yoon on social media. You will not regret it. I love his account.
You are the best.
I know. You can check him out at Tony Yoon MD. We'll be right back. Bye, Doc. Bye, Doc.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
On December 13th, President Joe Biden signed the Respect for Marriage Act into law. It requires federal and state governments to recognize all marriages that were legally performed in any state. Some people, including those affiliated with churches, claimed because the law applied to government agencies that it would give the Internal Revenue Service the power to revoke the tax-exempt status of churches that refused to perform same-sex marriages. And a verified viewer on TikTok asked us what the law actually does. So, let's verify. Does the Respect for Marriage Act give the IRS the ability to revoke the tax-exempt status for churches that oppose same-sex marriage? Our sources are the Respect for Marriage Act, a joint statement issued by some of the senators who passed it, the IRS, and Dale Carpenter, a constitutional law expert with Southern Methodist University. The RFMA explicitly says the law can't be used to deny or alter the tax-exempt status or tax treatment of an eligible person or entity. That language was added by a bipartisan group of senators who wanted to ensure that a church's tax-exempt status is unrelated to marriage. The law also specifies it only applies to those acting under the color of state law, which Carpenter says is a legal expression referring to the government or government officials, not private organizations like churches. So, no, the Respect for Marriage Act does not give the IRS the ability to revoke the tax-exempt status for churches that oppose same-sex marriage. With Your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Welcome back. We've got some amazing products from Side Deal today. Check them out.
Steph, I am so excited for what you have for us. Tell us all about it.
Hey, Tori, and hello, DBL Nation. We are so excited to show you the deals today, and trust me, they are both fabulous, so let's check it out.
Excellent.
So, first up, look at this device.
Whoa, dude.
I know, we've got the Home's Whole House Cool Mist Humidifier with antimicrobial protection. So this deal includes one humidifier that will help keep your home comfortable for you and your guests. So it disperses clean, fresh mist in a space up to 2,000 square feet, and the triple layer filter inhibits the growth of mold, mildew, and odor-causing bacteria.
Oh, fabulous.
Now, quantities of this are extremely limited, so you need to act fast before they're gone. Now, normally these are $170, but we've got it for just $69.99, saving everyone 59%.
Can I be honest? I'm shocking myself everywhere I'm going because it's so dry in the air.
Yes, static is a real issue.
Yeah, so for $69.99, you could just have a better season.
So we've also got something perfect for tech lovers. It's the 2-pack Cobalt X adjustable 2-in-1 smartphone tablet stands. So this deal includes 2 stands that are compatible with most cell phones and tablets, and the stand is adjustable with 360-degree rotation. You can clamp this stand on your kitchen counter, on your desk, and guess what? Even on your treadmill.
Oh, that's so smart.
I know, so this is the perfect hands-free accessory, whether you're loving making TikTok videos, taking FaceTime calls, or for virtual exercise classes.
Smart.
Yeah, so normally these are $30 each, but we've got two for $16.99, saving 72%.
Okay, so if you're not a TikTok person, whatever, if you're cooking and you want your recipe up and listen to a podcast, both of these, I love this, and it saves you guys some counter space.
You know what I would use this for? I would use this one for, I play piano, and sometimes I've got a few online apps that I download music from.
Smart.
So I could clip this on the edge of my piano.
That's so smart. All right, guys, head on over to sidedeal.com to snag these amazing deals, and again, at the lowest prices for real. You can even visit sidedeal.com right on your smartphone. Steph, the price wizard, as always, thank you so much. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's a tale as old as time. A couple of celebs made some comments they deemed harmless that other people, well, deemed harmful. This week, Megan Fox and Jennifer Lawrence are the A-listers in the hot seat. But, actually, all press is good press, right? Okay, let's start with J-Law. She's become a Hollywood favorite, but she's not some people's favorite after this comment she made on Variety's interview series, Actors on Actors.
When I was doing Hunger Games, nobody had ever put a woman in the lead of an action movie because it wouldn't work. We were told.
People ran to Twitter to share their thoughts on this comment, saying this was so disrespectful to other icons like Linda Hamilton from The Terminator or Pam Grier from Foxy Brown. Yikes! But Jennifer did tell The Hollywood Reporter that she knows she's not the first female lead in an action movie, and that she meant to say that it feels good to be a lead, and that she was just nervous talking to Viola Davis. Now, while her comment definitely did not come off great, I don't think she meant to volunteer herself as the only female lead of an action movie.
I volunteer as tribute.
Megan Fox is also getting a lot of hate online, but in this case, for like a very trivial reason. You know how everyone's posting that AI arted themselves? Like everyone? Well, Megan Fox was no exception, so she posted her AI portraits on Instagram, and people are not happy about it. Why are people pressed over the portraits, you might ask? Because of her caption. Were everyone's avatars equally as sexual? Like, why are most of mine naked? Well, if you follow Megan Fox, you're aware that in most of her posts, she's in very revealing outfits, so it's not surprising that her AI portraits follow suit. So Instagrammers left petty comments on the post saying she's always half naked and she sexualizes herself. But Megan clapped back to one of the commenters saying, I was being sarcastic. How can anyone think I actually lack this level of self-awareness? I just think it's ironic that the people hating on her sexual content are the same people who follow her. I promise it takes less time to hit the unfollow button than to write a comment. But hey, all press is good press, right? We'll be right back.
What could cause the end of these lower gas prices? Let's connect the dots. The cost of a gallon of regular gas has taken a nosedive after peaking at $5 over the summer. That record high came as we were all dealing with decades-high inflation. Now, falling energy prices could continue to help ease consumer inflation. But AAA says there are a couple of bumps in the road ahead. OPEC, an organization of oil-producing nations, is sticking with its plan to cut crude oil production next year. That could limit global supply. Russia could also slash production after Europe's oil embargo and price cap. That could also reduce supplies across the world. And China's harsh COVID lockdowns have kept many of its residents off the roads. As those restrictions are eased and more people in China travel freely, demand may go up, and that could translate to higher prices for all of us. And that is Connecting the Dots.
Welcome back. Before we go, we have to see those AI photos again. So let's see them all. First, the boys.
Listen, I like mine.
You look like Peaky Blinders, like Tommy Shelby.
I like the roughness and the grittiness.
I love it. Yeah, Al looks the same, but you look great. You look the same though.
Sam, you look like you're in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
I
you
dig
do.
it. Yep.
You have an elfish vibe.
You do. I dig it, and I like the pink. Erica looks bold and warrior-esque as always.
Tori's in an abusive relationship.
It's awful. I look awful.
This one is bananas.
That one's weird.
Can I be honest, Al? You look like a Q-tip. It's like it's very weird.
Not a good look. I don't get. Is that my AI? It looks like they just took my head off and put on somebody else's
you're
body.
right.
Jeff looks like a doctor.
Yeah, mine's not good.
Oh, those are good.
Yeah.
I look like.
Tori's is growing on me.
I like it. I think I'm an astronaut.
Why do you have a helmet?
I'm an astronaut in the future, I think.
That doesn't look like an astronaut helmet. It looks like the helmet in that one old diving movie with Cuba Gooding Jr.
Men of Honor. How did
you mean
I
the
know
old
that?
ones? Like
Someone said yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Can I get some props for knowing that?
Good, that was a good one.
I don't know. I've never even seen the movie.
And by the way, that looks nothing like that scuba helmet.
Absolutely not.
I was going to take mine and put it into a voiceover because I always wanted to be a cartoon character.
Ooh, you'd be good.
Yeah, like a,
Give
what are
us a
those?
voice.
All right, DBL's new every day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Mine would be
Same
like,
time, same place.
help.
I'm drunk.
Where hope finds help. Where courage meets conviction. Where makers make fans. We are Tegna, a family of local and national media brands that bring us together, serving the greater good of our communities. Where national know-how, that's local business. Be in good company with Tegna.
Season's greetings from me to you. Be healthy, be happy, and most importantly, be kind to yourself.
I want to wish you all a very healthy and joyous holiday season.
We want to extend all the blessings and joy from our family to you.
From our family here at DBL to yours, we want to wish you a happy holiday season.
All of the love, all the prosperity, all of the joy, because you deserve it.
Here's what we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
The death of DJ Stephen Twitch Boss shocks fans as he's remembered for his time on Ellen. What we know so far about what happened. Jay Leno talks for the first time about his terrifying accident.
The pilot light jumped and my face caught on fire.
Plus, the avatar selfie trend has some people wanting to get these looks in real life. Dr. Yoon is here live to give us his take on using filters as inspiration for plastic surgery. And our interview with the fabulous Vivica A. Fox.
Why are you starting off the interview? What's up?
Oh my gosh.
Get real.
No. Y'all, just stop.
This is a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. We begin today with some very sad news. Stephen Twitch Boss, who was Ellen's DJ on her talk show, has passed away. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner said he died in a hotel yesterday. And the Today Show and other news outlets are reporting that it was by suicide. He was just 40 years old. Twitch was best known, of course, as Ellen's DJ and for his love, his happiness, his dancing. He joined the show in 2014. He was promoted to co-executive producer in 2020 and stood by Ellen after her show was accused of being a toxic workplace. He and his wife, Allison, gained millions of followers on TikTok, showing showing off their dance moves, and would sometimes get their 3 kids involved. Now, in a statement, his wife said, quote, Steven lit up every room he stepped into. He valued family, friends, and community above all else, and leading with love and light was everything to him. He was the backbone of our family, the best husband and father, and inspiration to his fans. And in fact, Ellen just recently tweeted her thoughts. She wrote, I'm heartbroken. Twitch was pure love and light. He was my family, and I loved him with all my heart. I will miss him. Please send your love and support to Allison and his beautiful children, Wesley, Maddox, and Zaya. Wow, right before the holidays. You know, Tori, you talk very openly, we all do, about our struggles with mental illness, and you just never know. It does not discriminate. You never know if someone's suffering, no matter how happy they seem to be.
I saw, excuse me, it's check on your happy friends. That's what I saw on Instagram, social media today. Check on the ones that you think are doing okay. From all accounts, Twitch had the perfect life. He was happy. His wife, I've been following him since So You Think You Can Dance. So is Allison, his wife, a contestant. Yeah. They are, when you dance, you exude joy, and that's all he did, was just exude joy. So when this happened, I think all of us are really in shock right now, because it seems like the opposite of someone who's depressed. So please remember this phrase, check on your happy friends, because it hits indiscriminately, and people can put on a face, because I did it for a long time. I'm so saddened by this for their family, for the holidays. Every holiday they're going to remember this moment. So I'm just really shocked, really
I was
shocked.
Gonna say, Jeff, you said that this hit you harder than you thought it would.
Yeah.
Like, what did you mean by that? You said that right before the show started.
Well, yeah, because I was talking to my wife this morning, and they celebrated their 9-year anniversary 4 days ago. And on Instagram, it's all good, right? And that's why I always talk about Instagram and all that, but I want to talk about Twitch, because I know I'm not a dancer, I'm not maybe nothing like Twitch, but I see a little piece of me in him. When Anthony Bourdain died, it really affected me. And this is the same way, he's a family man. And I can't imagine myself doing something like that. But over the years that, you know, we talk about this very openly, about our struggles and other people's struggles. And I was like, why would you do that to your family? There's a mental disorder within yourself that makes you do something like that. And I realize that now. We're going to put numbers on the screen after, but there is help out there. He didn't leave his kids. He needed to do something that his mind told him. I went through that when my wife had postpartum, and I didn't understand it, and it helped me realize it. So for some reason, I felt like a little piece of me was with Twitch today, like I could do something like that. And it really bothered me seeing, you know, those. It just bothered me.
Can we have some Kleenex up here?
Yeah.
You know, Sam.
Erica, I want to give Erica a moment. You're crying.
No, you know, it's very weird, because I was thinking about my girlfriend who unfortunately took her life 2 years ago around this time, almost 2 years to the date. And I appreciate what you're saying about just the idea of you've changed your mind, or you've understood more based on your own experiences, because there was certainly a time that I felt like suicide is like the most selfish thing you can do. And I repeated that even when my friend passed away, because I was so angry. Like, I was so angry in the beginning, before I even got to sadness. I just think it's really important, especially during this time of the year, that we are really aware that this is a very tough time for a lot of people. And so I also think that it's our responsibility to send our condolences out to so many of you, because we understand that before you had us at this particular time on your particular network, you had him and you saw him every day. And we want to acknowledge that you are grieving at home, because when you allow any of us to come into your homes every day at the same time, it is such a privilege that we are spending time with you, and we know how you feel about us. So I am sorry for your loss today as well.
It was beautifully stated, Erica. We do have some numbers, as Jeff pointed out, on our screen for any of you that may want to reach out for help. Please take a screen grab of it, take a look. You are not alone. Every single one of us up here have been in pretty dark, deep holes, and you can crawl out of it. Help does work. Treatment works. Our thoughts and prayers with Twitch's family. All right, we're going to move on to another topic that a lot of you are talking about. Megan Thee Stallion took the stand yesterday in Los Angeles, and here she is on her way into court. She was testifying in a case against fellow rapper Tory Lanez for allegedly shooting her in the feet in 2020 after a party in the Hollywood Hills. She told the jury that Lanez shot her after yelling at her to quote-unquote dance bleep. Megan said she's still dealing with nerve pain along with the fallout from the incident. She said Lanez offered her $1 million not to tell the police what happened. And at one point, Megan was in tears, saying she wished he had killed her had she known about all the backlash she would get from the music industry and from folks on social media. Lanez has pleaded not guilty to the felony charges against him. He faces more than 22 years in prison. And just to give our audience more context, and Erica, you spoke about this months ago when we brought up the entire situation, is so many people started to victim blame her, said that she was doing it for attention or she was making it up. Why, Erica, in your opinion?
Because the most disrespected person on this planet is the black woman, and it's a shame when people who look like you make that your reality. I mean, this was a great opportunity, especially at the moment that it happened, when we were yelling from the rooftops to protect black women, to actually put action behind that. But instead, people who look like her and people who don't have decided to re-victimize her when we know no one is disputing that she was shot. We have decided to make a mockery out of her personal life and put on trial the intimacy of what possibly happened or did not happen in her bedroom. Where else do we do this at for someone who has been shot multiple times? At the precipice of the height of her career. She did not need this type of attention. And for anyone to insinuate that she is doing this for attention, or she's doing it for nefarious purposes, that she's doing it for any reason other than justice, really needs a reality check. And you also need to look your daughters in the eyes, look your nieces in the eyes, your mama, your auntie, your grandmother, and acknowledge to them that the things that you are saying about this woman who was a victim of a violent act are going to be applied in their minds too. So just know that when you're saying this, Megan's probably not going to hear you, but your daughter will.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just seeing her walk into court. I'm so happy, because when we covered this case, I was like, I don't think we've ever talked about an A-list celebrity that was shot multiple times, and it was so opaque in terms of what was happening around her. And I'm really happy that she's going to get her day in court, because the first thing that really hit me, and Erica, you really touched on it, was people were saying she did this for attention. I'm like, here's how I know you're famous. My mom knows who you are. Yeah. My mom knows who Megan Thee Stallion is. You don't need any more publicity after that. She has crossed over gender, socioeconomic, age. Everybody knows who she is. So the fact that she would do this for like she's some TikToker trying to get a publicity stunt is ridiculous. So I'm glad we're going to hear this in court under oath, and we can just get this out and get this done with, and justice can be served however it is.
I certainly hope it does. We'll be right back.
It's happy holiday season time.
From our DBL family to yours, we want to wish you
a happy holiday season.
A happy holiday season.
We're live. So I was just, we were just speaking about what Erica had said regarding the audience, who is now our audience, because we moved time slots. We now have Ellen's time slot in most of the cities, or a number of the cities here. And it's something I never connected. I mean, I thought of Twitch, of how I knew Twitch. I had met him through a friend of mine, Tammy, who dances, and I barely met him, but I just looked within. For Erica to think about our audience, who probably has spent so many hours cumulatively watching him and feeling like they knew him.
I didn't even think about it. I know.
Console them, I thought was really powerful.
I can't believe I didn't even think about
Me neither.
This might be like a weird side tangent, but I thought about this because my friend said this a long time ago about being a gun owner. And he said the one thing about being a gun owner is obviously being responsible and how you use it and how you care for it and who has access to it, but also there's going to be a time in everybody's life where like you're going to have a thought to use it on yourself. And this is one of the things that people don't discuss with guns is my friend comedian Jack Knight, who passed away, took his own life with a gun 4 months ago, and it's just. I think if you don't have access, maybe it gives you that one day to sleep on it. Maybe it gives that one friend time to get there to you. But the gun is so instant.
It's there.
That it's just there, and
And
it's
if you
just
act on
instant,
that impulse,
like a trap
right.
door almost,
Yep.
you know.
Yep, that is so well said.
And it's
unfortunately,
it's terrible because we don't think about guns towards other people or guns when your kids find them, but you don't think about just like. You,
suicide.
like, yeah, just
Yep.
like everybody has a bad day, a bad month, a bad 5 years, and they're like, this is it, you know. And
you're giving me chills.
yeah, it's.
We're talking about
Very decorated in the studio. We like that little shot of the wreath. Okay, so welcome back. We're going to talk about something that we have not talked about in a while. Yes, masks. I know it's a hot button issue. While health officials across the country are urging Americans to put their masks back on between COVID, the flu, and other respiratory diseases that are spiking right now, they say masking up is the best way to keep you and your family healthy. Here's what Dr. Fauci said about it yesterday.
We're getting cold weather. We're getting an uptick in cases, and we have the holiday season where people are congregating indoors. I hope is a call to people to realize how important it is to do that, to get vaccinated, to be careful, wear a mask where appropriate in indoor settings.
So DBL Nation, we need to hear from you. Will you be masking up this holiday season? Go to dblvote.com to weigh in. Tori, I just want to read you this statistic in regard to Americans and masking. So during the first 2 years of COVID, between 50% and 80% of Americans wore the mask, seeing the data and knowing how it protected against COVID and other respiratory diseases. As of September, only around 29% have been wearing masks outside of their homes. Two-part question. Why do you think that is? And do you think people are going to listen to Fauci now that he's been so politicized?
No, I think there is a lot of heat around Fauci. They should. He's saved millions of lives by this, but I think there is a lot of political talk here. I have to say this. In other countries, masks are very normal. They're normalized. And Americans, when we get bored of something, we move on really, really quickly. We've moved on from masks, apparently. It's not over, but we've moved on. We need to somehow normalize it, like in other Asian cultures, in places in which people in the studio are still wearing masks. That needs to be something you have in your car. That needs to be something you wear in the airport. This is part of our helping a society as one. That's what you have to do. You got to put in a little work, wear a cloth, and protect it. Because at this point, Americans who move on, we're done, and it's going to come right back. So I say, I was
going to say, I love what you said about normalizing. And Jeff, you talk about being in Japan and different parts of Asia. And, like, that's what I noticed when I was over there, is everybody has a mask on in the airport. Like, everybody does. And I went to do my USO tours in 2018 and 2016. So it was very normalized. And I felt like I stood out over there not having one on. So I was in North Carolina doing shows this weekend. Shout out to Charlotte. Great time there. And honestly, I would say in the showroom, there were probably 25% of the people wearing masks and 25% of the staff wearing masks, which never happened pre-COVID. So maybe this is kind of where we are now.
Yeah, I just got back from Chicago, and about 25% of people on a plane were wearing a mask. I would say, listen, if people don't want to wear it, they're not going to wear it. Right. I mean, at this point, we're already over it. But if I was not feeling great or something, I'm going to be honest, I don't think I'd wear it at Christmas with my family. But if I was not feeling great while I was traveling, I'd wear a mask to protect others.
There you go.
Because I don't want to be selfish.
There you go.
So, I mean, people are going to do what they want to do, and that's probably the end of it.
And talk to your doctor. If you don't trust Fauci, please talk to your doctor.
Or me.
46% say yes, you will be wearing a mask. 53% of you say no. All right, coming up on DBL, we talk with Vivica A. Fox all about her new project, A New Divas Christmas Carol. Stay tuned.
On December 13th, President Joe Biden signed the Respect for Marriage Act into law. It requires federal and state governments to recognize all marriages that were legally performed in any state. Some people, including those affiliated with churches, claimed because the law applied to government agencies, that it would give the Internal Revenue Service the power to revoke the tax-exempt status of churches that refused to perform same-sex marriages. And a Verify viewer on TikTok asked us what the law actually does. So, let's verify. Does the Respect for Marriage Act give the IRS the ability to revoke the tax-exempt status for churches that oppose same-sex marriage? Our sources are the Respect for Marriage Act, a joint statement issued by some of the senators who passed it, the IRS, and Dale Carpenter, a constitutional law expert with Southern Methodist University. The RFMA explicitly says the law can't be used to deny or alter the tax-exempt status or tax treatment of an eligible person or entity. That language was added by a bipartisan group of senators who wanted to ensure that a church's tax-exempt status is unrelated to marriage. The law also specifies it only applies to those acting under the color of state law, which Carpenter says is a legal expression referring to the government or government officials, not private organizations like churches. So, no, the Respect for Marriage Act does not give the IRS the ability to revoke the tax-exempt status for churches that oppose same-sex marriage. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Darling, if we wanted to kill you, we would have done that already.
What she means is, hi, we're just 3 regular old spirits who've been assigned to you to make your life better. Aren't you lucky?
Welcome back to DBL. That was A Diva's Christmas Carol, and Vivica A. Fox is slaying in her latest film. Earlier we caught up with her. Take a look.
Okay, so the stars in A New Diva's Christmas Carol include Ashanti, Robin Givens, Eva Marcel, and Spice Girl Mel B. So who is the biggest diva in the movie?
Why are you starting off the interview giving me trouble?
I'm giving you some Christmas drama. I want my lump of coal.
Okay. If I had to pick, I'd say Ashanti, just because she was doing this film. No, listen, she was doing our film, and then she was also touring. She had interviews. She had a lot going on, but she really delivered for us and played the role of Aphrodite wonderful. And she contributed to the soundtrack. So the fact that you're going to get to hear her sing, she has the voice of an angel. I honestly did not know she was that good of a singer.
Wow. Okay, so that's the biggest diva in real life. Now, what about the biggest diva as character-wise in the movie?
Ashanti.
It's still Ashanti.
She was giving everybody the blues, and we had to pull her choke chain and said, now come on back and enjoy love and Christmas.
I just want to ask you, was there a moment on set, because, you know, there's a certain chemistry on set, but was there a moment where you really felt the spirit of Christmas, like on set, like you were like, oh, these are my people?
To be honest with you, every day.
Yeah.
Because we had a lot of work to do. We just finished this film in August. So we all had to come in, be focused. We ran lines with each other. We made suggestions to the director. It was really a collaborative effort. The special effects were added later, but for the director to help us understand where we were, because we went through her past, present, and then took her to her future. So we would be like, okay, now where are we at today, and where are we about to escape to? Because my character took us through the time travel thing with this when that happened. So I would say every day we really work together as a wonderful team to create movie magic, and more importantly, Christmas magic.
I love that. A good ensemble.
Yeah.
All right, so in real life, who will you be spending the holidays with this year? I sound like a creeper.
You really
Where
do.
will you find you?
Yes.
Girl, when you hear about my Christmas ritual, you're going to be like, okay, V, I might want to join you. I start off the day having breakfast with my godson, Christian, and his family. Then I go to the Beverly Hot Springs, soak in the waters, have a good massage. Then I go to my business partner, Lita Richardson, and we binge watch all the NBA games and have lunch, and then I finish out the night with a Uno tournament and fish fry with my boy Darren Bond.
Oh my gosh, that's the coolest night ever.
It's a full day, I told you.
An Uno tournament?
I just
She topped it with
any
a cherry.
one of those things would have been my favorite. You had me at NBA binge watch, and I was like, you could have stopped talking, but then you went to Uno tournament. That's my thing.
I'm like, I go to my grandma's house.
Yes. There's nothing like getting somebody with a draw four on Christmas. Like, go ahead and get in there.
Good call.
Yeah.
Exactly. Bam. And I pop it on you.
You're done.
That's what's up. Now, obviously you have a full Christmas day. I'm going to speak for the men, and I can speak for myself. I dropped the ball on a few Christmases. So a few Christmas gifts I should have consulted with some friends. What is the worst Christmas gift that you've ever gotten from a man?
Nothing.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah,
There's no
nothing.
skipping Christmas.
Like, really? You just think your presence is the gift? Really?
Yeah, it's weird because I'm sure you had one for him.
I am a great gift giver. I really am. I love birthdays and I love Christmas.
Oh, wow.
So, it was kind of chintzy. He got kicked to the curb.
Yeah, well, so let's go back to divas. So you ran into housewife Kenya Moore since your epic showdown on Celebrity Apprentice, but it went well, right? So tell us that story.
Well, that was really, I'm not a mean girl whatsoever, but she really tried me on Celebrity Apprentice, taking my phone. She isn't officially confessed to that.
Yeah.
But honestly, it was her little girl. We were in Crustacean's restaurant in Beverly Hills, and her little girl just walked over to me, and I was like, "Hi, baby." And Kenya walked over and was like, "Hey, girl." And I was like, "Come on, let's go on and drop this." We're both adults. And daughter's beautiful. It's good to see you in a new chapter as a mom. And we squashed it.
Wow. What an adult thing to do. The power of a little child, too, right?
Right. And I think kids soften you a little bit. I just had a baby a year ago. And so it helps me okay, am I really mad or, am I not?
Absolutely.
Congratulations on your new baby.
Thank you so much, Vivica. I appreciate that.
Kinsley's the best. Thank you so much for joining us, Vivica. DBL Nation, a new Divas Christmas Carol premieres tonight on VH1. Again, so lovely to chat with you.
Come back soon.
That's true. We'll be right back.
Happy blessed holidays, darlings. And here's to fabulous 2023.
That's right. And you, and to you.
Billions of emails are sent every day. And as we all probably see in our inboxes, many of them are marketing promotions. Verify viewer Linda says her inbox is full of them. She texted our team to ask if a business can sell her email address after she unsubscribed from its mailing list. So Linda, let's verify. Our sources are the Canned Spam Act, the Federal Trade Commission, and Andrew Sternke, Chief Executive Officer and Private Investigator at Juris Disputes and Investigations. A 2003 federal law called the Canned Spam Act sets the rules for businesses that send commercial marketing emails. It requires companies to do two things: identify these emails as advertising and tell you how to opt out of receiving future emails from that company. According to the Canned Spam Act and the FTC, once you submit an opt-out request, businesses must remove you from their mailing list within 10 days, and they can no longer sell or transfer your email address. The FTC says there's one exception. Companies can transfer emails on its mailing list to a company that it's hired to help them comply with the Canned Spam Act. If companies don't follow the rules, they can face hefty fines. So Linda, we can verify, no. Businesses are not legally allowed to sell your email address after you unsubscribe from their mailing list. According to cybersecurity expert Andrew Sternke, the removal of emails from a mailing list is a self-regulated process that comes with some issues.
There's nothing saying that they didn't already sell your information, your email, prior to you opting out. They just can't do it once you opt out.
With your Verify, I'm Adiante Till. Poinsettias are one of the most popular holiday plants. Their colorful leaves can range from a creamy white to a bright red. For years, people have claimed that the plant is lethal to cats and dogs. Recent online search trends show people are wondering about that claim as they start decorating for the holidays. So let's verify. Are poinsettias deadly to pets? Our sources are the ASPCA, the American Kennel Club, and the Pet Poison Helpline. Snap open a leaf of the plant and its milky white sap will ooze out. The chemicals in the sap are similar to those found in detergents. If cats and dogs consume them, they may experience gastrointestinal irritation, such as nausea, vomiting, drooling, or sometimes diarrhea. Contact with the sap can also cause skin irritation, including redness, swelling, and itchiness. But all three of our sources agree that chemicals found in the plant's sap are only mildly toxic to pets, not fatal. The Pet Poison Helpline website says claims about pet poisoning from the plant's sap are greatly exaggerated. So we can verify, no, poinsettias are not deadly to pets. But consuming the sap and the plant's leaves in general is still not good for them. So to be safe, the American Kennel Club recommends keeping poinsettias out of your pet's reach during the holiday season. The ASPCA says holly and mistletoe, which can cause gastrointestinal irritation as well as cardiovascular problems when ingested, should also be kept out of your pet's reach. With your Verify, I'm Ariande Till.
Welcome back. We got a comment for Al. Melissa says, in regards to Vivica, it looked like Al wanted to get on Vivica's Christmas plans.
Wow. I was just trying to talk to a fellow entertainer about, expanding, because she's so good at time management. I want to see how she does it. She does everything.
Did you DM her and thank her?
That's trying to get me in trouble.
Leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online. Watch on YouTube, dailyblastlive.com, or our app. But if you get the second half of the show where you are, here is what's ahead. The AI avatar trend makes its way into plastic surgery offices. Dr. Yoon will be here live to tell us what the craze is all about. And Jay Leno does his first interview since his terrifying accident. What he says happened in the moments leading up to getting badly burned.
Hospitals need blood to perform surgery and treat trauma patients. In January, the American Red Cross declared a crisis due to the worst blood shortage in over a decade. But are outbreaks of the flu and RSV making it worse? Let's verify. Our sources are the American Red Cross and Blood Assurance, a nonprofit that serves healthcare facilities in Georgia and 4 other states. Nationwide, hospitalizations for the flu are at the highest level in over a decade, while emergency room visits due to RSV, or respiratory syncytial virus, are elevated. Blood Assurance reports that some donation drives have been canceled because too many people called out sick. In a statement, the CEO of Blood Assurance said it's quite alarming because it's not even winter yet. Evan Peterson of the American Red Cross adds anyone feeling sick should not donate blood.
We do a health screening before anyone is able to donate, just to make sure that, hey, the day of when we're about to take this blood, is your blood where we need it to be? And unfortunately, some people do just get disqualified as a result of that.
Both organizations are offering a variety of incentives to healthy people willing to donate in December. Peterson says the Red Cross gets a lot of questions from people wondering if it's okay to donate if you're recently vaccinated.
If you have a COVID vaccine or booster, or you have your flu shot vaccine or booster, that does not disqualify you from donating.
So we can verify the recent viral outbreaks have impacted our nation's blood supply, leading organizations to encourage people to get vaccinated to stay well and donate.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Get real.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
This is a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll. Welcome to DBL. So Jay Leno is speaking out about the garage fire that left him with burns on his face, chest, and hands. He spoke to Hoda Kotb on the Today Show about how it happened. Watch.
It was a 1907 white steam car. So the fuel line was clogged. So I was underneath it trying to clog, and I said, blow some air through the line, let's see if we can clear. And then a line, and then boom, and suddenly, boom, I got a face full of gas. And then the pilot light jumped, and my face caught on fire. And I said to my friend, I said, Dave, I'm on fire. And Dave, okay. I said, no, Dave, I'm on fire.
Wow. Jay also revealed photos of his burns while at the burn center where he was treated for 10 days. Now, Jay joked that he wasn't worried about what he would look like after because he's not, quote unquote, George Clooney. I admire that attitude. I do. Or do you think that's him trying to hide behind hide his hurt with his humor, Jeff?
I think a lot. I mean, he's a comedian, right? So I think he does that naturally, but I think we all do that in some sort of way. But for having gasoline burn on your face, I think he looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Right? And I think he's lucky that he got away with what he got away with. But having that positive attitude about things, accidents happen. He loves what he does. I'm sure he's going to go right back to fixing cars. So good on Jay.
It's just weird that, like, I've known someone who got really badly burned where you have the skin grafts. What you didn't see is just how drastically painful it is. It goes into the muscle fibers of your being. And so it's just, Jay has a very strong character. I mean, that is, you are 10 out of 10 in pain. Burn victims have a very, very, very difficult time. So good on him for keeping up such a high spirit.
But yeah, I feel like he, you know, and I said this when we initially covered the story, he has like one kind of bow in his quiver, and that's that he is a comic. Yeah. So he can fight back with this because usually you kind of, most people internalize things and like, how are people going to look at me? But as a comic, you've been on stage your whole life. You're used to people looking at you. And also, if you look at a lot of comedians, Josh Blue, he's got MS, I believe, and he's one of the most famous comics. The friend of mine, of course, his name escapes me. He's on America's Got Talent. He got hit in the throat with a softball when he was a kid. It destroyed his vocal cords, and he made it far on America's Got Talent because he incorporated that into his act. So I'm expecting, Jay, as soon as I saw that, every comic was like, oh, you got a new hour. Like, it's so weird.
It's going to be called
like,
I'm on fire.
Yes, exactly. So, you know, take the negative and make it positive. So I'm expecting big things from Jake.
All right. Okay, so Drake, you guys, is getting roasted over a piece of jewelry. The rapper commissioned a necklace by jewelry designer Alex Moss that was inspired by his past lovers. The piece, called Previous Engagements, is made up of 42 diamonds that represent the 42 times Drake got close to proposing. Ugh. The necklace took 14 months to complete.
Just so dumb.
And is worth an estimated $4 million, but some people online called out Drake for this strange gesture. Some called it embarrassing. Others said it was corny. Tori, you blurted out it's dumb.
That's like 42 times you were going to get married. 42. Can you know we are at 30? You still got 12 more. 42? What are you? Some kind of
Tori, how many people
addict addict?
Well, Tori, how many people do you think you've met where you were like, I could have potentially married this?
Two.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
And then I realized that definitely one. But like, you don't, I mean, over 5 I feel like is a lot. Did anyone find this like cringy?
I think we're expecting that because after his last album where he was calling out happily married women that he once connected with and have moved on with their lives, we were anticipating that the next album would just be called Therapy Session because I believe that that's the next stop for him.
Yeah, like what's going on with Drake?
I mean, it's just I feel kind of bad for him. Like, he seems hurt. Like, he really does. He seems like really hurt. I mean, like his.
So you buy the diamond?
Like,
Wasn't
like it was
cover a bunch of like different babies. Remember, he had a bunch of.
I don't know. It was
babies?
something before. I think I've realized that I've gotten older than the demographic that he's going for because I'm like, baby, honey,
something's wrong.
Just get a little therapy. We'd love to hear about that. Drake, your next album, just therapy session, 1.0, 2.0 until it's done. We could use that in the community. Absolutely.
It's just funny that he puts it on blast. You know, because there's a lot of people that love very hard, right? Or they're a love addict or a sex addict, whatever it may be. But the fact that he's like, I'm going to get a necklace with all 42 possible proposals, why do you think he put it on blast like that?
That he remembered 42.
Yeah, Dan. 1, 2.
Yeah, well, then there was Karen and like,
don't forget Karen.
And you were looking at him in the eyes. It might be 43 after he watches the segment, Erica.
All right, so we got to talk about Jennifer Aniston, too, because she hosted an exclusive party full of her A-list friends. But, of course, the party reportedly happened at her home in Bel Air and included stars like Sandra Bullock, Courtney Cox, and Lisa Kudrow, plus Tobey Maguire, Jason Bateman, and Bradley Cooper. Just so we're clear, these pics are not from the party because, according to Page 6, it was a no cell phone event.
Awesome.
Not as a rule, just so nobody posted anything on social media. Erica, you said awesome.
I love that. I love that. I've been doing more no cell phone events because people, especially when you're serving alcohol, then people's boundaries start to slide a little bit more. Then all of a sudden, you wake up the next morning and something you never would have posted on a story, like even if it's not even as that big of a deal, like you're just swearing and you never
just
post
not a good look.
Yeah, something that wouldn't be something you would normally do, and now someone has posted you all over their social media. Like I've gotten to the point where I just tell people, like, we have a professional photographer here. Yeah. You don't actually even need to take any photos. If you want certain photos, you can get a great photo with this person as opposed to on your phone with bad lighting. That way you don't have to worry about, you know, somebody posting something that they shouldn't.
Or here's another weird option. You could just enjoy the evening. Yeah. You could just enjoy the evening without trying to capture it in real time. Are you going to go back and be like, wow, remember that time me and Erica were sitting on the couch? I would rather remember the conversation that we had on that couch. I get that people live online and posting your life is a big deal. I get all that, Sam. But I do think that like things are missed when people are constantly taking pictures. It throws the rhythm of conversations off. It makes people, hey, stop talking to Jeff real quick. Let's get a picture. You guys start talking again. Well, it just throws the rhythm of the night off. Like,
you're just not in the present moment, ever. You're just never in the, if the goal in life is to live every moment in the present moment, you couldn't be farther from that. And the energy passes on to everybody. You're absolutely right. Oh, picture this, picture. Well, I'm not going to talk to you then. And I mean, like, you just have to work on that because it's very easy to do.
I think it gets a bad rap, though, and I agree with all of you, but it gets a bad rap because we always hear it with, like, celebrities, right? Because they don't want certain things to get out. I think this is actually quite relatable, again, for what the reasons you all stated, to be present, boundaries, whether you have $1 million or no money in your checking account. I think what all of us can fall victim to, what Erica said, is the fact that you get a couple drinks in you, the next morning you look at your phone and you regret some of those decisions.
How many teachers have we seen fired
There
for
you go.
things that they were doing at a holiday party and things that no one would have ever known about? It's like,
would you do this?
No way. No.
No, you wouldn't say no cell phones?
Oh, I would, for
you
sure.
Would. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, even we've been out. You have like a drink, and I have 2 drinks. I'm like, I'm going home. You know what I mean? Because, and then I go with people I trust. Because listen, we're kind of buttoned up here, but you know what I mean. I like to let loose when I get around my family and friends and do my thing. I don't want to see that the next day. You know what I mean? You're not in the trust tree, circle of trust.
That's right.
Trust tree.
Best advice I ever heard. I know we got to run. Never take a drink.
Wait, right when I said that, this is it.
I just discovered my secret.
I know, right when it came out, I'm like, oh my God, I said that in her notes.
No way.
Dang.
Yes.
And you gave me that look, and I was like, I can't believe I said trust me.
Okay, we have a secret Santa. I'm going to pull back the curtain because we tell you guys everything.
Oh my God.
So we do a secret Santa here at DBL, and you're supposed to give 3 clues. I got a clue today saying in so many words, like, you're going to get a great gift, you're in the trust tree or something like that. I was like, trust tree? That's an interesting word.
I know, right when it came out, I looked at you and your eyes got big, and I was like, damn. All right, we gotta go.
DBL, you the AI selfie trend online. Well, we're going to see how we look with a digital makeover. And Dr. Yoon will be here live to talk about how people are trying to look like their AI photo in real life. This is Daily Blast Live. We have fiery debate. That's not true. Can I finish? We tell heartfelt stories. We're so emotional over here. We talk to the stars.
Turn up the notch on that. Great research.
DBL is all new every day.
So, what is a trust tree?
It rhymes with 3, so I said trust tree.
I like trust tree. I'm going to use that from now on.
I do. Branches.
Sam's
going to set it up, and she's going to toss to your guys' avatar. This is a short conversation.
Go for it. You can go in. Yeah, I love the trust tree.
And she's going to say, what do you guys think? We do have to get to Dr. Yoon, so don't go too far into this. What you think of your AIs, okay? So the questions are going to be, Jeff, you are first. Dr. Yoon, here's my avatar. What do you think?
And this is when we're revealing it. We're not going to see him first?
Seen it. You're
okay,
seeing
we
it
already
first.
saw
You've already seen them. What if I bring this into you? What are you going to do for me? That kind of thing. And then the follow-up is, what is the danger of somebody wanting to look like their avatar? Al, you have question 2. Is it ever safe to use a filter? as inspiration to get plastic surgery. And then Tori, you have the third question. Dr. Yoon, we have your avatar as well. Let's take a look.
Can't wait.
He hasn't seen it, so have him respond to that. That's just fun. If we have time, Erica, we're then going to get into Cardi B removing her butt injections and why this was a bad thing to do in the first place. And he's going to talk about that. If we have time, Sam, you have the last question. What's the difference between butt injections and a Brazilian butt lift? Okay, great. And then we toss to him, and that's it. So I just want to keep talking about this because not only did I hear a word that I never heard before called trust tree, but then as soon as he said it, his tell was he looked at me and his eyes like gleamed.
Because, first of all, trust tree, it rhymes with 3. So I was writing like a poem about it. Because we're supposed to write 3 notes. It says, don't expect 3. That's what I meant by that. But then when I go trust tree.
That was you right by that.
I would have been like, oh, just
Get out of here. Don't take 3.
So yeah, that's, and then when I said circle of trust, I looked at Sam to see if she caught it.
Oh
and she
man,
did.
that's so funny.
Welcome back. What does your AI self look like? If you've been wondering, you're not alone. The magic avatar trend is the latest thing sweeping across social media. Take a look.
Trying the AI avatar trend.
So the app is actually called Lensa AI. You upload various selfies and then it spits out different avatars of you. Let's see what. None of us have done this, right?
No.
Okay, so our producers took photos. We're going to see what our avatars look like. Okay, these are the ones that look the most like us. Let's look at the boys first.
Whoa.
Dude.
Dude, Jeff, you look like good.
I look like
You look depressed.
I look like I'm about to smoke a ciggy in a depressing bar.
Motorcycle, yeah, I like
Not
it
like
though.
Al, though. You looked super sad. That looked like Al. Let's look at the girls. These are the ones that look like us.
Oh.
Oh my God, Erica.
Erica.
Whoa.
Tori.
Oh, I like my pink hair.
I like Sam's. I like
I
Tori's.
want my pink hair.
I just want to go on record that.
What's wrong with my face?
No, your avatar looks like it's going to a nightclub.
Wait, we have more. We have more.
Like it went. No, like it went to a nightclub.
These are the ones that don't look like the boys. These are the ones that don't look like the boys.
Okay.
Oh. Is that a different body on me? It looks like Jeff is my doctor.
All right, these are the girls. These are the girls that don't look like us. They do not. Tori.
No, now
that looks more like you than the other one.
Good, because Erica's so light.
Erica's stunning. Oh, Sam, look at you.
No, this is weird. Why am I so light?
Yeah, that is a problem. People have brought that up. I'm glad you're talking about that.
I'm an NW 4445, aren't I, Jeray?
No, I'm glad you brought that up. I have a girlfriend that is dark-skinned, and she wrote a whole thing on Facebook bringing attention to that her avatar definitely doesn't look like her because of the skin color, and also her nose was narrow, and that really bothered her, rightfully so.
But my nose was right, and it's always been like that. See, my nose is full.
That's good.
Good.
Like a
Good.
Cabbage
That's
Patch
her.
Kid.
Okay, so with so many people doing this trend, plastic surgeons are now speaking out about the number of people coming into their office to achieve this look. But is that even realistic? So to help us break it all down,
realistic.
please welcome our favorite holistic plastic surgeon, Dr. Yoon, back to the show. Yay!
Hey, Doc.
Thank you. Let's get right to it, okay? So, what do you think listen, what's happening here? Do I need to duplicate this look, and what should I bring to get it done by you? Do you advise me?
So you can come into my office
and bring this to a doctor?
Yeah, you can come into my office and ask for it, but I can't necessarily give it to you. So ask all you want. I mean, really, when you look at these, it's like they painted a portrait of you, and like paintings from long ago, it's not necessarily all that realistic.
Yeah, of course. What specifically is dangerous, this is so silly, about wanting to achieve these avatars?
Well, the issue is that if you use this as a guide and you say, hey, I kind of like how my skin looks here, then you can use it as a realistic guide. But the fact is there's so many people who would look at something like this and not realize that it is not achievable. And you can undergo procedure after procedure after procedure to try to gain an appearance that just is never going to be achievable in the first place.
All right, Doc, we got to talk about filters and if dating sites could survive without them. Now, people are, bringing in filtered photos as inspiration for plastic surgery. Is that a good idea? Because it does show you kind of the best case scenario of your face. So does that work?
So I think that, once again, you got to be realistic. If you use a filtered photograph as a way to say, I kind of like how my skin looks here. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to clean up my diet. I'm going to use good skincare. I'm going to wear my SPF every day. Then it actually can be a very positive thing. But unfortunately, so many people use it as kind of this guide to look in a way that's almost dysmorphic. And you can undergo procedures that can actually end up making you look worse. And it can be what we call this kind of downward spiral of cosmetic surgery.
Wow. Now, speaking about how dangerous it is, Dr. Yoon, we have yours. So let's take a look at Dr. Yoon's own.
Oh, yeah.
Heck.
I look like I'm from the Squid Game show.
Do you like that, or do you feel like that's weird to look at?
I think it's weird. I mean, it's something that I think is fun, and you can put it out there, but unfortunately, with these types of things, there is that small group of people who maybe have real psychiatric conditions like body dysmorphia, and they may use this in a way that is not healthy.
Right. Okay, so we also need to ask you about another surgery that's making headlines, because rapper Cardi B revealed that she had 95% of her butt injections removed.
Merry Christmas.
And says that people should think twice about this type of surgery. I appreciate her saying this, but why is she saying this, and what are the risks with these types of injections?
So this is a huge deal, and I really credit Cardi B in coming forward with this. She supposedly had these injections done in a hotel room of some type of polymer that was injected into her buttocks. This is not legal. It is extremely dangerous, and you can literally die within minutes of somebody injecting something like this into your buttocks. So she is very, very fortunate, and I'm so glad she's sharing her story.
Wow. I had no idea. Dr. Yoon, thank you so much. DBL Nation, be sure to follow Dr. Yoon on social media. You will not regret it. I love his account.
You are the best.
I know. You can check him out at Tony Yoon MD. We'll be right back. Bye, Doc.
Bye, Doc.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
On December 13th, President Joe Biden signed the Respect for Marriage Act into law. It requires federal and state governments to recognize all marriages that were legally performed in any state. Some people, including those affiliated with churches, claimed because the law applied to government agencies that it would give the Internal Revenue Service the power to revoke the tax-exempt status of churches that refused to perform same-sex marriages. And a Verify viewer on TikTok asked us what the law actually does. So, let's verify. Does the Respect for Marriage Act give the IRS the ability to revoke the tax-exempt status for churches that oppose same-sex marriage? Our sources are the Respect for Marriage Act, a joint statement issued by some of the senators who passed it, the IRS, and Dale Carpenter, a constitutional law expert with Southern Methodist University. The RFMA explicitly says the law can't be used to deny or alter the tax-exempt status or tax treatment of an eligible person or entity. That language was added by a bipartisan group of senators who wanted to ensure that a church's tax-exempt status is unrelated to marriage. The law also specifies it only applies to those acting under the color of state law, which Carpenter says is a legal expression referring to the government or government officials, not private organizations like churches. So, no, the Respect for Marriage Act does not give the IRS the ability to revoke the tax-exempt status for churches that oppose same-sex marriage. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Welcome back. We've got some amazing products from Side Deal today. Check them out.
Steph, I am so excited for what you have for us. Tell us all about it.
Hey, Tori, and hello, DBL Nation. We are so excited to show you the deals today, and trust me, they are both fabulous, so let's check it out.
Excellent.
So, first up, look at this device.
Whoa, dude.
I know, we've got the Home's Whole House Cool Mist Humidifier with antimicrobial protection. So this deal includes one humidifier that will help keep your home comfortable for you and your guests. So it disperses clean, fresh mist in a space up to 2,000 square feet, and the triple layer filter inhibits the growth of mold, mildew, and odor-causing bacteria.
Oh, fabulous.
Now, quantities of this are extremely limited, so you need to act fast before they're gone. Now, normally these are $170, but we've got it for just $69.99, saving everyone 59%.
Can I be honest? I'm shocking myself everywhere I'm going because it's so dry in the air.
Yes,
in the
static
winter.
is a real issue.
Yeah, so for $69.99, you could just have a better season.
So we've also got something perfect for tech lovers. It's the 2-pack Cobalt X adjustable 2-in-1 smartphone tablet stands. So this deal includes 2 stands that are compatible with most cell phones and tablets, and the stand is adjustable with 360-degree rotation. You can clamp this stand on your kitchen counter, on your desk, and guess what? Even on your treadmill.
Oh, that's so smart.
I know, so this is the perfect hands-free accessory, whether you're loving making TikTok videos, taking FaceTime calls, or for virtual exercise classes.
Smart.
Yeah, so normally these are $30 each, but we've got 2 for $16.99, saving 72%.
Okay, so if you're not a TikTok person, whatever, if you're cooking and you want your recipe up and listen to a podcast, both of these, I love this, and it saves you guys some counter space.
You know what I would use this for? I would use this one for, I play piano, and sometimes I've got a few online apps that I download music from.
Smart.
So I could clip this on the edge of my piano.
That's so smart. All right, guys, head on over to sidedeal.com to snag these amazing deals, and again, at the lowest prices for real. You can even visit sidedeal.com right on your smartphone. Steph, the price wizard, as always, thank you so much. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's a tale as old as time. A couple of celebs made some comments they deemed harmless that other people, well, deemed harmful. This week, Megan Fox and Jennifer Lawrence are the A-listers in the hot seat. But, actually, all press is good press, right? Okay, let's start with J-Law. She's become a Hollywood favorite, but she's not some people's favorite after this comment she made on Variety's interview series, Actors on Actors.
When I was doing Hunger Games, nobody had ever put a woman in the lead of an action movie because it wouldn't work. We were told.
People ran to Twitter to share their thoughts on this comment, saying this was so disrespectful to other icons like Linda Hamilton from The Terminator or Pam Grier from Foxy Brown. Yikes! But Jennifer did tell The Hollywood Reporter that she knows she's not the first female lead in an action movie, and that she meant to say that it feels good to be a lead, and that she was just nervous talking to Viola Davis. Now, while her comment definitely did not come off great, I don't think she meant to volunteer herself as the only female lead of an action movie.
I volunteer as tribute.
Megan Fox is also getting a lot of hate online, but in this case, for like a very trivial reason. You know how everyone's posting that AI arted themselves? Like everyone? Well, Megan Fox was no exception, so she posted her AI portraits on Instagram, and people are not happy about it. Why are people pressed over the portraits, you might ask? Because of her caption. Were everyone's avatars equally as sexual? Like, why are most of mine naked? Well, if you follow Megan Fox, you're aware that in most of her posts, she's in very revealing outfits, so it's not surprising that her AI portraits follow suit. So Instagrammers left petty comments on the post saying she's always half naked and she sexualizes herself. But Megan clapped back to one of the commenters saying, I was being sarcastic. How can anyone think I actually lack this level of self-awareness? I just think it's ironic that the people hating on her sexual content are the same people who follow her. I promise it takes less time to hit the unfollow button than to write a comment. But hey, all press is good press, right? We'll be right back.
What could cause the end of these lower gas prices? Let's connect the dots.
The cost of a gallon of regular gas has taken a nosedive after peaking at $5 over the summer. That record high came as we were all dealing with decades-high inflation. Now, falling energy prices could continue to help ease consumer inflation. But AAA says there are a couple of bumps in the road ahead. OPEC, an organization of oil-producing nations, is sticking with its plan to cut crude oil production next year. That could limit global supply. Russia could also slash production after Europe's oil embargo and price cap. That could also reduce supplies across the world. And China's harsh COVID lockdowns have kept many of its residents off the roads. As those restrictions are eased and more people in China travel freely, demand may go up, and that could translate to higher prices for all of us. And that is Connecting the Dots.
Welcome back. Before we go, we have to see those AI photos again. So let's see them all. First, the boys.
Listen, I like mine.
You look like Peaky Blinders, like Tommy Shelby.
I like the roughness and the grittiness.
I love it. Yeah, Al looks the same, but you look great. You look the same though.
Sam, you look like you're in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
I
you
dig
do.
it. Yep.
You have an elfish vibe.
You do. I dig it, and I like the pink. Erica looks bold and warrior-esque as always.
Tori's in an abusive relationship.
It's awful. I look awful.
This one is bananas.
That one's weird.
Can I be honest, Al? You look like a Q-tip. It's like it's very weird.
Not a good look. I don't get. Is that my AI? It looks like they just took my head off and put it on somebody else's
You're
body.
right. Jeff looks like a doctor.
Yeah, mine's not good.
Oh, those are good.
Yeah.
I look like.
Tori's is growing on me.
I like it. I think I'm an astronaut.
Why do you have a helmet?
I'm an astronaut in the future, I think.
That doesn't look like an astronaut helmet. It looks like the helmet in that one old diving movie with Cuba Gooding Jr.
Men of Honor. How did
you mean
I
the
know
old
that?
ones? Like
Someone said yes. Exactly.
Can I get some props for knowing that?
That was a good one.
I don't know. I've never even seen the movie.
And by the way, that looks nothing like that scuba helmet.
Absolutely not.
I was going to take mine and put it into a voiceover because I always wanted to be a cartoon character.
Oh, you did good.
Yeah, like
Give
what
us
are
a
those?
voice.
All right, DBL's new everyday. We'll see you tomorrow.
Mine would be
Same time,
like,
same place.
help.
I'm drunk.
Where hope finds help. Where courage meets conviction. Where makers make fans. We are Tegna, a family of local and national media brands that bring us together, serving the greater good of our communities. Where national know-how backs local business. Be in good company with Tegna.